It's the 29th renewal of the Boise State-Idaho football rivalry, and the stakes are high. The Idaho Vandals look to repeat as the Big West champions and return to the Humanitarian Bowl, scene of one of the Vandals' sweetest victories ever. Boise State, meantime, has won 7 of its last 8 games, but they need one more win for a Big West title and their own berth in the Humanitarian Bowl. In essence, the winner today takes all. Each of the last 2 Bronco Vandal games have gone overtime. Aaron Hurley's touchdown giving Boise State a 30-23 win in 1997, while a year ago, Joel Thomas scored on a surprise 2-point conversion as Idaho beat Boise State 36-35. What surprises lie ahead today? We're about to find out next as the Broncos and the Vandals rock the Palouse live on the Bronco Television Network. Washington on a blustery afternoon here in the Palouse. The Big West Championship game on the line in the Pac-10 setting. The Boise State Broncos against the Vandals from the University of Idaho. Everything is on the line. The Big West title and a trip to the Humanitarian Bowl December 30th in Boise. Hi again, everybody. Wayne Dzubak along with Larry Pulowski, and welcome. It is rocking. The Vandals have just taken the field, and it is noisy.
Well, it's an incredible atmosphere right now, and I'll tell you what, if you can't get fired up for this game, Wayne, you have no blood in your veins, and I've got butterflies right now, and I haven't played in this game in 21 years.
One of the reasons the Broncos are here is because of the play of Bart Hendricks the last 5 games. He's been phenomenal.
Well, Bart Hendricks is being touted right now by Dirk Cutter as the Big West MVP offensively, and he's sure playing like it. You can see the yardage there. He's done it all for the Broncos through the air and on the ground.
You look at the defensive stats, and the Boise State Broncos lead in every category. A lot of reasons why Mike Malloy one of them.
Well, Mike Malloy's the anchor to this defensive front. Mike has got 10 tackles for loss, and he really provides a lot of leadership and his stability on the end of this defensive front. They're going to have to stop the run today, and he's a big reason why.
You look down the other defensive stats, and Idaho is second in just about every category, right behind BSU. A big part of that is Chris Nofoinga.
Well, Nofoinga is everywhere. This guy does it all for the University of Idaho. You can look at the numbers. The 10 sacks is a huge number, but he does it all. Run coverage, pass coverage, he's everywhere on the field.
And how about the gutsy play this year of John Welch? Hurt his, actually broke his leg. Came back 2 weeks ago. He's an inspirational leader.
Well, he's the comeback kid. Now, he doesn't have many attempts, but good completion percentage there. 4 touchdowns, but he's a guy that can get a lot of things done, and Boise State has to be careful with him all day long.
Obviously, the last game of the year, the big thing, injuries, but not too many injuries to speak of. For Boise State, only a couple.
Well, as we look at our St. Alphonsus injury report here, Damon Schilling is on the field. He's running around. He's going to play today. We don't know how much defense he'll play. Sean Sandoval is out. He had ankle surgery. He's out for the year.
All right, the big story all week has been the status of Mao Tosi, the big defensive end for the Idaho Vandals, 6'6". Will he play? Will he not play? Let's go down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Jeff Case, with the story. Jeff?
Thank you very much, Wayno. It's not good news for Vandal fans. Mao Tosi, 6'6", 300-pounder. The Alaskan will not be in this football game. He did not receive medical clearance this morning. That's the only information the Vandal trainers are releasing. So J.J. Johnston, all 1 sack and 10 tackles of him, must fill the shoes of maybe the most dominant defensive player in the Big West Conference. It is a thriller. Wayno.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. And the keys to the game.
Let's go over the overhead door keys to the game. First of all, they've got to win the turnover battle. Boise State cannot allow Idaho to get the ball in scoring position via the turnover. Second of all, they've got to keep John Welch in check. They cannot let him come out and start throwing the ball all over the field, or they're going to have a long day. And also, Boise State must convert every scoring opportunity. They've done a great job in the red zone. They have to get points every time they have a chance today.
I'll tell you what, I don't think we can hold these two teams back any longer. They're both out on the field ready to play. We got the Broncos and the Vandals going at it. We'll be back after this. right, we are ready to go here in Martin Stadium, Pullman, Washington. There you see the weather. It is 42 degrees. The wind's at 21 miles per hour. That calculates to a pretty cold wind chill. Idaho leads this series 17-10-1. Last two games, though, went into overtime, so obviously they expect a big game here today. We are ready to go. Boise State won the toss, deferred to the third quarter, so Brett Thompson will tee it up and kick it off to Chris Lacey, but that's something he does not want to do. Chris Lacey returned for 100 yards against Nevada a couple weeks ago. Jack-in-the-box kickoff. Here we go. This game is underway, and it is deep and out of the end zone. The Jack-in-the-box kickoff here today, Boise State and Idaho. So the Vandals will start at their 20-yard line, and of course they are led today by quarterback John Welsh, who had that broken leg, came back a couple of weeks ago, and he led the Vandals to victory over the Nevada Wolfpack down there in Reno. Vandals will start at their 20-yard line. There he is, John Welsh. What a story this year. The broken leg, came back, 6'2" sophomore, and he is an inspirational leader. Just trying to get the jitters out of the way. Michael Moody with the ball. Gets a couple of yards. And there you see the starting lineups on the line. Pretty good offensive line they've got there, and they want to establish the run today. As you can see, that's something they want to do. They don't want to have to pass all day long. In the backfield, of course, we talked about Welsh, but you've got Anthony Tender and Ryan Prestamonico, Ethan Jones. As a matter of fact, they got a lot of great receivers on this team that you're going to be hearing about during the contest. So it's second down now. That was a gain of about 3, 2nd and 7. Ball at the 23-yard line for the Vandals. Shotgun formation. Welsh throws underneath the coverage. It is complete, just shy of the first down. And then with great second effort, a great second effort that time to get the first down. That was Rossi Martin.
Well, Rossi Martin that time was isolated on Damon Schilling. Now let's take a look at the Idaho Air National Guard starting lineups on defense for the Broncos. Malloy, Phillips, Hill, and Bennett. Good solid anchor there. Linebackers Ferris Johnson and Kareem Williams has been a big player. Dempsey Dees. Now we actually are seeing Damon Schilling out on the field, so he's broken into the starting lineup, and he is hurt and has had some problems this week, Wayne, so let's keep an eye on number 10.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably go right at him. 1st and 10 for the Vandals right at the 31-yard line. Welch has the time to pass. Moody drops it. He had Moody, but there's a lot of pressure on Welsh that time coming in there.
Well, Shenard Hart's out on the coverage for Boise State in that defensive backfield. Kareem Williams out there also. Passing game, something Idaho's going to try to open up early. John Welsh, a guy that has provided a lot of great moments for this Vandal team in only his second year.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 31-yard line. Ethan Jones split wide to the right. Moody, your running back. The handoff goes to Moody. Pretty good hold, but it closes up quickly. Gets out to about the 33-yard line is all. Andy Bennett made the stop. And Kareem Williams also in there.
Did look like they'd have some daylight off to the left side of that offensive line, but Malloy got off his block. Bennett came over from the left end position, and Kareem Williams did a good job getting in on that tackle also.
One of the things, Paul, that Chris Tormey talked about was Boise State's speed on offense. The team speed, he said, was incredible. So a big third down play, the first third down play of this ball game. Early first quarter, just underway, no score. Vandals with 1 first down and a 3rd down and 8 right now. Welsh, go back look, has the time, good blocking. It breaks down and Welsh throws it into the ground and is going to draw a flag. Intentional grounding as the Broncos fought through what was really some pretty good blocking on the part of the Idaho Vandal offensive line.
Let's take a look at the replay. Watch the pressure. Now, initially, Welsh has got a lot of time to throw. Hill was up in the throwing lane one time. Now, Bennett comes off his block and will actually make the sack. 4th down.
So the Vandals are going to have to kick it away. Nice job there both by Bennett and Matt Hill. Matt Hill doing a good job of getting his big arms up there and not giving a lane to throw. Justin Spiva right now will be back to kick. And that's Damian Schilling. We talked about him, wasn't sure if he was going to play or not. Had that kneecap go out in the game last week against New Mexico State, but it's back. High snap, Spiva, nice little kick. The wind's caught it. Damian Schilling at the 42-yard line looking for some running room and never really could find the wall, and he is brought down shy of the 45.
Rahimu Pettit on that tackle that time for the Vandals. Schilling, you could see just a little bit tentative, but I think he had trouble judging that. You're right, Wayne. The wind caught that punt and knocked it down, and Schilling had to come up on it hard. But good coverage by the Vandal coverage team that time. They kept him in check.
Yeah, Rahimu Pettit got down there and made the stop. There you see Bart Hendricks, the junior out of Reno. This is his third Bronco Vandal game. He won one in overtime, lost one in overtime. He said they didn't want to go overtime today. We'll see what happens. He's been playing very, very well. Maybe a yard before he runs into a bunch of black and gold, led by Ryan Knowles. Here at Boise State starting lineups, what a great offensive line. They lose a lot of these guys, or some of them anyway. Willie Van Gorder, Jeremy Mankins, Rob Mayan. You know, of course, Keith Dilworth not starting this game, the big senior, because he's got some problems. There you see that wide receiver core, and Dave Stahelski. I didn't see much of him last week, but the tight end, he is something else. 6 touchdowns, receptions this year. Broncos think they can get him into the game plan today. We will see. 2nd down and 9. Hendricks has the time to throw. Now runs out of the pocket and gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. Ryan Knowles again. He was playing, what a great game. 2 big tackles by Ryan Knowles. There you see him, number 50, 6'3", 258-pounder. But Will Beck, Jones, Duro, all those guys are great. To get back there in the linebacking core. Nofoinga, wow, this guy's unreal. 110 tackles this year. Have been in the secondary. Bryson Gardner's been around for a long time. He's a strong safety. He's been a senior leader. He's a good one. Broncos face with a 3rd down. Ball right at the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 9. Lets it fly. It is complete. 1st down. And that is a 1st down to Jay Swilly.
Jay Swilly's been the go-to guy for the Boise State Broncos in the last couple of games. Let's watch the isolation on the top of your screen. Jay Swilly, number 1, gets the 1st down depth and then makes the out cut. Beautiful route run by Jay Swilly. Coverage by Bradshaw. Devon Bradshaw, a good cover guy, but he gave Swilly just a little bit too much cushion. But hey, they're going to play it safe early in the game.
You really got to do that, don't you? You don't want any big plays to happen. Boise State, of course, gets off really early in the 1st quarter. That's been their key to success in the last 5 games. 1st down play. Davey Malathaon, big hole. Lots of running room. He's at the 30, inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Davey Malathaon, brought down by Matt Jasik.
Well, Malathaon's certainly been one of a host of tailbacks that have been in this ball game. Malathaon, watch it from the end zone camera here, comes right off the block of Ollie and then takes it upfield. Good explosive speed, but Malathaon's been sharing duty with Reed, Forsey, and even Aristotle Thompson's got quite a bit of playing time this year.
I'll tell you what, if the Broncos can establish the run here, it would be golden for them. Of course, that's what both teams want to do. They know how to throw. These 2 teams 1-2 in just about every category offensively and defensively in the Big West. 1st down play. Bart Hendricks. Play action. Looking, throws out into the flat. It's caught by Colbert. Colbert at the 10. He could score. Colbert touchdown.
Now Colbert's a guy, Wayne, that has not caught the ball very much this year for the Broncos. He's been used almost exclusively in blocking situations. Let's watch the big tight end off the right-hand side here. He just goes out into the flat and sits down, makes a little circus catch here at the end, and then he just heads for the corner of the end zone. Colbert, a big guy when he finds the end zone.
So the Broncos have jumped up on top early in this ball game. Kalaikai for the extra point. It's up and good. 11:10 to go, 1st quarter. Boise State leads the Vandals 7-0 here at Martin Stadium. Welcome back to Martin Stadium, everybody. Wayne Zubak, Larry Podolsky with you. The Broncos scoring in 5 plays, 56-yard drive. Took a minute 53 off the clock. A nice little pass to Nate Colbert from Bart Hendricks. And it's 7-0 Boise State. And now Brett Thompson will get ready to kick off again. Now Brett has the wind with him. So Chris Lacey actually standing back about a yard in the end zone. And Brett Thompson booms it again. About 5 yards deep. Lacey says, I'm going to bring it out. He goes to the 5. Lacey got some running room. Lacey breaks 1 tackle. He's to the 20, the 25-yard line, and a great return by Chris Lacey. Broncos just could not bring him down.
A lot of determination by Lacey, obviously, on that return. Boise State with a couple of missed tackles. They kick the ball 5 yards deep into the end zone. Lacey takes a calculated risk, and it pays off for the Vandals.
Gavin Reed finally gets him, but you're right. The calculated risk paid off.
The Broncos get collapsed inside. A couple of blocks in the back. I guess those aren't going to get called there. And a missed tackle by Ferris. He's got to be the sure-handed guy. And you see Brent Thompson come over and finish it off.
So instead of starting at the 20, net gain of 9 yards at the 29-yard line. Jeff Welch looking to throw underneath. Knocked down. Idaho fans here looking for pass interference.
Not if the guy's behind the line of scrimmage. You can have your hands on him if he is behind the line of scrimmage, and that is good non-call. Ross Ferris up there from the corner position. Actually, the outside linebacker position, excuse me. See how he gets his hands on the receiver. Behind the line of scrimmage, you can get away with that. You can still call a hold. I mean, if he's holding the guy, you can certainly throw a flag on that.
That was pretty darn close, wasn't it? Here comes that substitution thing that everybody talks about with the Idaho Vandals, where they got 3 or 4 guys ready to come in as they break from the huddle, sending a whole new set of personnel. It's 2nd down and 10 on the incompletion. Well, the handoff. That's Tenner. And he was tripped up in the backfield by Quentin Michael, who came up and got Anthony Tenner before he could really get motoring. You talk about an impact player as a freshman. Quentin Michael's it.
Well, and he is a redshirt freshman, which gives him a little bit. Jeff Franks, there, number 84, is the guy that has a little leg problem. He made the block on Andy Bennett on the outside that kept Bennett from really breaking that play up deep in the backfield.
They're going to have to help him off, a sophomore. Again, Nate Colbert with that touchdown pass reception, and you and I were talking about it during the break. Larry, he's from Moscow, so he's got to be a pretty happy camper.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet for a local guy here to go down and play for the Broncos. It doesn't happen very often that they go down south and play, and then to score a touchdown in the biggest game of this rivalry, I would say, is a good day's work already for Nate Colbert.
All right, another 3rd down for the Vandals right at the 30-yard line. 3rd and 10. Lacey in motion, and John Welch gets some pressure, decides to pull up and run. Now throws, almost intercepted, and then caught. Let's see.
Yes, it is. They're going to give him the reception.
Nice catch that time by Mike Roberg.
Roberg gets the deflection, and it is a nice job on his part to keep concentration. Good job by Welch to scramble around and make it work. You see Hartz had his hand on the ball, and Roberg scoops it off the turf.
Shenard Hartz was right there for the interception, doesn't get it. It is chilly here. Like I said, this is the first time I think either one of these two teams has had to play in a game where the temperature's right around 40 and the wind's about 20. That wind chill's pretty cold. Your hands get chilly. 1st down, though, for the Vandals at the 46-yard line. Welch to play action, and he meets Andy Bennett, throws it down again. Well, I tell you what, John's got to not do that. I mean, you're already going to lose the yardage, then you lose the down as well. That's not good. Sometimes you just got to eat it.
Well, remember, he's still a young guy, Wayne. He's only a second.
Offense. The penalty is a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
He's only a second-year quarterback, and he hasn't seen much playing time. He only has 66 passing attempts, I believe, coming into this game. So he's not seen a lot of game experience this year, but Bennett's been all over him on 2 of those bootleg plays.
Really has. So this is another big 2nd down play here for Idaho. 2nd down, 21 officially. Welch calling the signals. Got trips to the near side. They throw it out. That's Moody. Moody is met by Matt Hill. Gain of about 6. Broncos really doing a good job of recovering on that.
Flag down at the 38-yard line. It's going to be a block in the back by the Vandals.
Andy Bennett there talking to the official. Says let's take the penalty and back him up a little bit more. Could be from the spot of the foul.
Brian Johnson that time.
Illegal block in the back, running offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It remains 2nd down.
Johnson got deep into the backfield, almost broke up the pass play as it started off.
Let's go now, Jeff Cave. Jeff, what do you have for us?
He's got 6 screws and a metal plate in his right ankle. He couldn't get a medical red shirt, so he tried to come back after the Auburn game. Watch how he limps around out there, Wayne.
Good enough, Jeff. Appreciate it. Second down and forever. Second down, 27 to go. Welsh looking to pass. Again, has a lot of pressure, and he's down.
Matt Hill.
And Matt Hill's really been playing a whale of a game so far. John Welsh looking back going, what are we doing here? Somebody's got to protect me.
Well, so far these Northern Idaho kids that are playing for Boise State are doing a heck of a job. Hill from Grangeville. And look, he gets a hold of him and he just grabs onto the jersey and pulls him down. So far we've had 2 Northern Idaho kids have some big impact in this game.
Some pretty good coverage by the Boise State secondary as well. John had a couple of seconds to view things over but couldn't find anybody. Now it's third down and 32. Lacey in motion. Pass incomplete. That pass intended out there for Rossi Martin. And really, that wasn't going to get your first down anyway. I think the man was just saying, let's get out of this thing, you know, while we still have some field position and kick it away. Not many plays worked on third down and 32.
You can see the pass, you know, that out route really not going to accomplish a whole lot, but Welsh that time had a lot of time to throw, but his routes down the field covered very well by the Broncos.
Here's a guy I probably wish they were still playing in the dome. You can probably bump that average up 5 yards a kick if you're playing inside, but when you're playing with the wind, and he's kicking into the wind right now, gets a nice one off, but again, well, this one turns a little better. Damian Schilling at the 30. Gets a nice block at the 30. Schilling's got a wall. Look out. He could go. He's at the 30. He's at the 25, and he's knocked out of bounds right there. I thought he had a little more running room than that. Boy, I tell you what, that great block that was thrown for him really sprung him.
Well, the first block hit Travis Stombaugh. Damon Schilling does the rest.
We will be back. Boise State leads at 7-0 here in the first quarter. We are back here at Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. Boise State with a great punt return there by Damian Schilling. Rick Giampetri for Idaho was taken off the field. Looks like he'll be okay, but he was shaken up on the play. Here's some scores on our Sinclair scoreboard. Virginia Tech winning a game easily. Michigan over Ohio State, 24-17. As Boise State now has the ball. First down and 10 at the 23-yard line is where they mark it. Broncos up 7-0 in this ball game. Cuts back. Malathon, maybe 5 yards. Brad Rice is the guy who came up and made the stop. But Davey Malathon running very well, and right up the middle is where there seem to be some holes.
Boy, and Brad Rice came up from that defensive backfield, his free safety position. He put a big hit on Malathon. You don't see guys hit Malathon like that, making him go down, but Rice had a good shot on him. But Malathon broke the first tackle and picked up some serious yardage, about 8 yards down to the 14.
Officially gain of 7. Second down and 3. Fanucchi in motion for BSU. Again, handoff to Malathon. Behind the block of Fanucchi, but that's about it. Doesn't get anywhere.
Yeah, this defensive front 7 for the Idaho Vandals, Wayne, they just move too well to be able to try to run outside on a delayed play like that. You're going to have to attack these guys at the line of scrimmage. You're going to have to get off tackle quick. If you string the play out down the line, they're going to make the tackle every time. They're just too mobile.
Talking about that guy right there, Rick Giampetri, was helped off the field after the punt return by Schilling, and then he's right back out there, made to stop that time.
Well, there's one thing about this game, Wayne. It is always the hardest hitting game of the year. These two teams do not like each other. They haven't ever liked each other, and they take it out on each other.
Third down and 2. The Broncos in the red zone. This year they're 40 out of 47 in the red zone, scoring for 85%. 31 of those times have been touchdowns. They've got a 3rd and 2 here. Bart Hendricks, touchdown.
The speed option play, Wayne, has been a play they have run so many times this year because of the running ability of number 17, Bart Hendricks.
Well, he has been playing. I mean, we have one of those situations. The newspaper this morning talking about, you know, Bart Hendricks made a comment about him feeling like Superman. And then up here, they said, one of the players said that when John Welsh came out on the field down in Nevada, they said it was like God was walking out on the field. So they played it up here. It was Superman against God today. I don't know if I like that, but that's the way they played it up. So far, Superman's up 14-0. So the Broncos have scored twice here in the opening stanza. 6:48 to go, first quarter. 14-0. Boise State leads Idaho.
Today's game is brought to you by Sinclair Oil, Hertz Car Sales, your friendly Northwest Dodge dealer, R.C. Willey, and Jack in the Box.
Come in and make the smart choice with the new Hertz Car Sales, where the simple fact is you'll save thousands. We have hundreds of quality, hard-to-find cars, trucks, sport utilities, and vans. All vehicles are completely reconditioned, and many include factory warranties. Our in-house professional finance and leasing staff will make your next car buying experience fun and enjoyable. Come in and make the smart choice with the new Hertz Car Sales. The simple fact is you'll save thousands. The new Hertz Car Sales off I-84 on Orchard in Boise.
It's the way a good steak sandwich tastes like it came from a steakhouse. And at Subway, it's the way we know when to bring back one of our all-time favorite sandwiches. Introducing the A1 Steak and Cheese Sandwich again. Hot, juicy strips of steak with melted cheese, served on fresh baked bread and topped with A1 steak sauce.
And now introducing the Pepsi Twist and Go Cup, only at Subway. Upsize any fresh value meal and the resealable 32-ounce cup is yours.
Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
There's your score, 14-0 as we come back here to Martin Stadium. The speed option left side, this time Bart Hendricks.
Well, Dirk Cutter said earlier in the week that he was hoping that sometimes Bart would pitch the ball more, but, you know, when you have holes like that, Wayne, you're not going to pitch the ball anyway, and Bart loves to call his number because he's confident in his running ability.
Well, three-play, 23-yard drive, a minute 31, but it was set up by what a great punt return by Damian Schilling.
And what a great setup by the special teams, Wayne. They had that picket fence set up on the Vandal sideline perfectly.
So once again, Brett Thompson for the third time in this quarter kicking off. This one's not nearly as deep. Chris Lacey have a chance to return this one. Takes it at the 8-yard line. Lacey looking for some running room. Boy, if he gets outside, he is dangerous. And again, Brett Thompson, the guy that slowed him down just enough for everybody else to get to him. Ross Ferris put the skids to it, but it was Brett Thompson who got down there and slowed him up.
Well, they were trying to kick that ball down into the corner, that little pinch move that they've run so successfully this year, where they kick the ball down and then they create kind of a situation where they pin the guy in. Well, Lacey's a hard guy to pin in. He's a very good runner, and he runs to daylight well, and he's got around that corner. Thank goodness Thompson. You know, that guy's made a lot of tackles on kickoffs this year, Wayne.
Not what you want to hear.
Not if you're Dirk Cutter. He doesn't want to hear that very often.
Well, the Vandals right now in a hole. 14-0, so they come out in the shotgun. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. And Welch over the middle. Townsley catches it in front of Damian Schilling, who is having a little bit of trouble bringing him down. That's going to be a first down. Gain of 14.
Jeffrey Townsley, certainly a guy that the Vandals have used a lot this year. They come out in a 5 wide receiver setup. They're running all kinds of routes down the field. Schilling is getting picked on big time, Wayne. You can see this philosophy right off the bat. If they're going to play Schilling, the Vandals are going to test him.
Here comes all those substitutions. Looks like a fire drill out there with everybody running around. Trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. So 4 wide receivers out in the pattern, now maybe even 5. As Michael Moody moves into a wing situation. Welch has a quarterback draw all the way. And Kareem Williams stayed home and kind of stopped it for only a gain of 2, but it could have been big.
Oh, beautiful recognition by Kareem Williams. This guy has made some huge plays this year. He's kind of come out of nowhere to become one of the best linebackers on this team. And when you've got Brian Johnson back there, that's saying a lot. Good spy technique by Kareem Williams.
Yeah, the philosophy of that whole thing is just spread it out from sideline to sideline and then go ahead with the quarterback draw. You should have some creases there.
Well, if Williams is running around like a chicken with his head cut off back there trying to cover a receiver, Welsh is still running right now.
Gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 7. Moody has it. Nice little hole. Cuts outside. Slowed up just enough for the Broncos to get to him. Mike Malloy makes the final stop. But that's going to be enough for another Vandal first down.
Moody, the guy that touches the ball out of the backfield most for this Vandal running attack. Watch just a little trip up here by Shenard Harsh. Just gets enough of him to make him stumble, and Malloy can react, but he still gets enough of the first.
Vandals for the first time today in the Bronco territory at the 38-yard line. And Welsh will set up in the shotgun. Again, they are spread out all over the field. Sideline to sideline. Welsh, the throw, complete. That's Willie Alderson who makes the catch, the kid from Nampa.
Willie Alderson had a big game last year against Boise State. Gets first reception of the day here. Takes it down 2 yards short. But again, they're out with that 5 wide receiver set. And although Alderson really listed as a running back, he's used mostly in the slot position as a wide receiver.
Chris Tormey knows this is a crucial series for this team. They're down 14-0. They cannot come away without any points here. Welsh back up under center. Sends Chris Lacey in motion. They throw it. And Townsley fumbles it and gets it right back. And he is very close to get another first down, although he paid for that one.
Well, Patrick Vinsky, one of the offensive linemen for the Vandals, kind of gets in the way of this play. As you can watch, he develop. It's an inside screen to the wide receiver. And look at the big guys out in front actually create a pile for the Boise State team to react to. Matt Hill makes the tackle. But Vinsky, although they did get enough, it looks like, for the first down, they could have had a lot more.
Yeah, really. And they're going to, and then again, it could have been disastrous for the Vandals because Townsley got hit real hard and fumbled the football but fell right back down on it. Here you see the stats on head coach Dirk Cutter. He's 63%, almost 64% winning here in his second year with Boise State. And it's a first down by the length of the football. Just joined us, 4:38 to go here in the first quarter. 14-0, Boise State leads it. 6 out of 9, but he's also had to throw the ball into the ground twice, been called for intentional grounding. Townsley in motion. Tenor has the football, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage. What a great play by Boise State. And I didn't get a number there. That was Kareem Williams, the first to meet him. How about that?
Yeah, that was a face-up tackle, and Tenor's having a little trouble getting up. That was a big-time collision right in the middle of the field, right at the line of scrimmage. Kareem Williams with a form tackle on Tenor, and Tenor's still down.
Yeah, he is. I'll tell you what, you're right. Form tackle. Tenor thought there was going to be a hole there, and Kareem Williams just simply filled the gap and came in there and put helmet to chest is what he did. Well, you know, it rained all day yesterday. Let's go down to, before we talk about the weather here and what it's doing, let's go down to Jeff Cage for an update. Jeff?
All right, thank you very much, Wayne. You know, there's a lot of emotion that runs through this rivalry, and certainly here in Moscow, the rivalry's a little more intense. Take a look at this. The old Hate Boise State week is back in Moscow. Now, Larry Pulaski could probably talk a little bit about that because that's when it started. I looked around town. I drove everywhere looking for it. That was one sign of it. The only other sign of it was right outside my hotel. Now, Brannigan's Pizza was a place where Mike Bone told me I could maybe do my sports talk show from until I saw it's Hate Boise State week. So I don't know. I have to talk to Mike about that. Bo?
Sounds like a setup to me, Caves. Well, there's certainly been, as Anthony Tenor gets up and jogs off the field, he looks a little woozy, but good to see him get up and walk off the field in that manner. But it's a heck of a rivalry, and Jeff's right. It runs deep. It's been here a long time, and it's truly blossomed into one of the great rivalries in the country as we look at Chris Tormey's record as a fifth-year head coach here at the University of Idaho.
Newspaper in Washington, in fact, up in Seattle, listed as one of the top 10 rivalry games today. So this is rivalry day around the country. Second down and 10 for the Vandals. No back look. Trips to the left side, and Welsh throwing deep. Wilberg is open, and Dempsey Dees at the last second knocked it away.
Dees and also Brian Johnson down there in coverage from the middle linebacker spot. Talk about a mobile middle linebacker. Johnson's at the line of scrimmage when this play starts. It's an incredible hustle to get down there and finish it off, but Dees is the guy that really broke that pass up, and Wilberg kind of wishing he had this one back because it did hit him kind of in the hands, but Dees just enough in the arm to knock it loose.
Well, you could tell Dempsey Dees was right there. So a third down and 10 for the Vandals. If they're looking at field goal, they'd have to kick it into a stiff wind. And look at this. Get out of there. That is Brian Johnson.
And the Broncos, I know they're happy, but they better ease off on this celebration thing or you're going to start to see yellow flags flying around. Watch Brian Johnson come up the middle here, untouched. John Welsh has just got to see his life flash before him.
Well, what that's done now, too, it's pretty much taken Idaho out of field goal range because the wind, it doesn't show much at the top of the goalpost, but up here at the booth, you can see it blowing right into their face. So they're probably going to be forced to go for it on 4th down here rather than try and kick a field goal. And see, even Chris Tormey's going, what do we do here? We're going to call a timeout. And so the Vandals do indeed. And Dirk Cutter now will be thinking about what he has to do.
Well, that's a good decision by Chris Tormey. You know, there's a little confusion there. Call the timeout. You're probably not going to use all 3 of them in the first half anyway, so that was a very good decision and a heads-up coaching call.
You know, I talked about the weather yesterday. When we got here, it was raining. It rained all night. I don't know if you got woken up this morning by the rain up against your window at the hotel, but it was blowing and raining, and it was tough. But today, not too bad. Just a little cool, as Jeff Caves on the sideline is going to attest to. Jeff?
Yeah, it is a little cool down here, about 20 degrees wind chill. I'm visiting right now with Jeff Waddell, as the Director of Sales of Crucial Technology, or Crucial.com, which is a division of Micron Technology, who is now the title sponsor for the Humanitarian Bowl. This is what Idaho and Boise State are playing for. What this is, well, Jeff, you can describe this probably a little better than I can.
That's a memory chip from Micron, and for anybody that's ever seen a blue screen or waited for a computer, that's what you need to get the performance out of it.
And what they'll do is you'll find it at Crucial.com, and I guess you have a list of any PC that you would be using so that you can know what kind of module you need to plug in. And it doesn't look too difficult to plug in, is it?
No, it's easy as slapping in, as you said, fill into your VCR. So we've got 30,000 SKUs, very complete, cover every PC.
Thank you very much. Wayno.
Hey, he says it's easy, but that from a guy who doesn't have to take a week to just reset the thing when we go to daylight savings time. And, you know,
well, that's a huge coup for the Humanitarian Bowl, though, Wayne, to be able to get Crucial.com as a title sponsor. They've been working on a title sponsor for years, and it's finally come to fruition.
All right, you got to watch out for the fake punt here. That's the kind of territory, but Spiva will kick it away. So instead of going for it on 4th, they decide to kick it away. Damian Schilling will let it bounce, and he gets a lucky bounce because it goes into the end zone. So the Broncos hold the Vandals. They will take over at the 20-yard line. A nice defensive stand and some big plays by Kareem Williams on that, and then Brian Johnson.
Well, I don't think it's any big secret. Boise State has blitzed probably, and Wayne, this is no exaggeration, 75 to 80% of the time on their defensive sets, they're in some kind of a blitz formation. They said they weren't going to change anything today, and they have not. They have come at John Welsh, and they have come at him strong.
Well, you know, the Broncos came into this game leading the Big West in sacks as a team with 39, and they've sacked them, 3 or 4 times here today. So Boise State has the ball. 1st and 10, 14-0 lead. They're at the 20-yard line. Hendricks back to pass to Jay Swilly, and Jay Swilly has a 1st down. Out of bounds at the 32.
Jay Swilly's really gained a lot of confidence in the last 5 weeks, Wayne. Here's a guy that in the first half of the season didn't even hardly get on the field. He was hurt a little bit out of two-a-days. He had some troubles, but it was mostly confidence problems, and he has really blossomed into one of the go-to guys for Boise State and Bart Hendricks.
Broncos send 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen on a 1st down and 10 after that nice 12-yard pickup. In trouble. Now he throws. Gavin Reed wide open. Gavin Reed could go the distance. He needs 1 block on Bryson Gardner. Panucci gets it to him, and Gavin Reed is gone. Touchdown.
Well, and I was waiting for a flag, Wayne, on that block downfield. I think there was a hold there that Boise State got away with, but they got the touchdown. Gavin Reed with another explosive play. Talk about Mr. Big Play. They faked the ball to him, short rollout. The Vandals force him out of the pocket. Now watch Reed go. And downfield, you're going to maybe see at the top of your screen here the partial block, partial hold, but you're certainly going to see Gavin Reed go into the end zone.
20-0 Boise State, 1st quarter. Kalaikai, the kick is good. 2 minutes, 36 seconds to go here in the 1st quarter. 21-0 Boise State. Here's that block hold you were talking about.
Well, Finucane's pretty much got a hold of him, I'd say, right there. I don't know what else you can call that, but the officials didn't call it a hold, and that's all you need to know. Gavin Reed's in the end zone, and the Broncos are up 21-zip.
Well, that was the one block I was talking that he needed, and
that's a heck of a block.
Well,
you know, when you can get away with a hold like that in the open field, and it was just enough to make the defender, you know, veer off course a little bit, and that's all you need in the open field with a guy like Gavin Reed running full speed down the sideline.
And that's the thing. The key down there when you're doing that, if you're a wide receiver, is just to screen the guy off. You don't really have to hit him. You just have to stay in front of him. And certainly, as we saw, he had a hand on the shoulder, and it could have been called. It wasn't. It's 21-0. And the Broncos right now, who have gotten off to a great start here in the first quarter. You know, in the first half, the last 8 games, Boise State has outscored the opposition 160-63. Now you can make that 181-63.
Well, I'll tell you, Wayne, I walked by Dirk Cutter this morning over at the Holiday Inn where the Broncos were staying. He had his game face on early. He was intense. All of his players had the same game face on. I tell you, it was a very interesting crew to be around this morning, and very different than the start of the year at UCLA or over in Hawaii. A totally different atmosphere, Wayne, that I felt in.
Well, I was having breakfast with Paul Jay this morning. Dirk walked in, and my comment was, boy, Dirk looks puckered.
Well, you know, different coaches go about things in different ways, and you know, Dirk was a little more loosey-goosey at the start of the year, but since he's been on this 7 out of 8 game winning streak or whatever it's been the last few weeks, I mean, he's been intense, and he's been pretty short with everybody that's been around him.
Broncos trying to do everything to keep it out of Chris Lacey's hand, and this time a little squib kick. Broncos have it. Onside kick. BSU surprises Idaho. They're pulling out all the tricks. How about that?
Greg Sasser recovers the ball at the 46-yard line, and they worked on that play for all season. They have not run it, but that's just a little dribbler of a kick. They send part of the coverage team down to block people, and then there's 2 guys that are designated to wait for it to go 10 yards. And Sasser's the guy that covers the ball up. Unbelievable. And can you believe Dirk Cutter calling that play at this juncture of the game?
Unbelievable. First down. Hendricks looking. And he had Jeb Putzier open, but he turned him around. Jeb couldn't quite get there.
Well, Bart was thrown to the open area, and he was thrown to the sidelines. You know, in that scenario, you're definitely going to avoid an interception that way. Jeb was running a route on the numbers. The ball was thrown to the sideline, and just a little miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver.
Well, I tell you, the Broncos up 21-0 here. Clock stop, 2:28 to go first quarter. Bart Hendricks 4 out of 5. He has scored 2 touchdowns in this ball game. Actually, he's been involved in all 3. Hendricks, handoff, Gavin Reed. Down to the 49, maybe 48-yard line. Will Beck made the stop for Idaho.
Will Beck, Duro, Mofoenga. There's some great defensive players on this Idaho club this year. They've got to be stunned right now at the tack this game has taken.
3rd down and 5 for Boise State. They marked it right at the 49-yard line. Hendricks, Swilly, first down. Let's see where they mark it. They're still backing him up, but they're going to give him a first down. He needed 5, he got 6.
The most courageous route a wide receiver can run, Wayne. When you come across the middle, you can be assured, you can guarantee your last bottom dollar, you're going to get hit by a linebacker right in the mouth.
Yeah, he did too. How about that Jordan Kramer? That's a familiar name up here in Idaho.
It certainly is. Jordan Kramer with a big hit. Gian Petro.
His dad, of course, Jerry Kramer, played here at Idaho. Played with the Green Bay Packers. Most famous guy I know for throwing 1 block.
How does an offensive lineman have a free safety for a Sunday? Come on now, what's that all about?
Hey, works for him, I guess. First down for the Broncos. Again, this is Malathon. Breaks 1 tackle. He's into the open field, knocked out of bounds, and that was a touchdown-saving knockout by Brad Rice.
Well, a little bit of a makeshift offensive line for Boise State in some cases. You know, Rob Valiant is getting some time on that offensive line, and a lot of time now. Dilworth's still hurt. Watch Malathon. strong runner, not the flashiest guy in the world, not like Gavin Reed. He's not going to break the big, long play and look stylish doing it, but he gets the hard yards.
Another first down for Boise State with 1:17 to go here in the first quarter. Banks in motion. A look at Gavin Reed dance around, gets to the 20-yard line. Bryson Gardner made the stop.
Great job by Nate Colbert, Willie Van Gorder on the left side of that O-line. They collapsed down the defensive front so that Gavin Reed would have some cutback area. He cut it back for 5 yards.
It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Broncos, just shy of the 20. Just joined us, Boise State 21, Idaho nothing. 44 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Hendricks throwing to Stahelski, and he can't quite find the handle. That would have been a tough catch by Dave Stahelski. But what a throw by Bart Hendricks. He really threaded the needle.
Well, you know, Bart's going to get an incompletion for this, but watch this hit Dave Stahelski right in the hands. And granted, he had to bring it down in. It was a good throw. It would have been a great catch. It's a catchable ball, and I know Stahelski beating himself on the side of the helmet right now because he's not happy with himself for dropping that ball. Take a look at the Taco Bell 2-minute clock. 36 seconds left in the quarter.
Third down play. 5 yards to go for the Broncos. Bart Hendricks gets the first down. That was unusual.
Wow. I don't think we've seen that play.
I don't know if that was actually, I think Bart was supposed to carry it, but I'm not sure if he was supposed to go that route.
Bart looks like the Tasmanian devil here. Look at that. He pulls a 360, comes back to the left side of the line, and decides to just go ahead and get the first down. We have not seen that one this year.
J.M. Petrie was the guy that made the stop. Broncos with the first down now, again inside the red zone. They have been golden in there this year. Boise State taking a timeout with 10 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Broncos either saw something they didn't like. The wind, I don't think, is that much of a factor right now.
No, not with the first down. You wouldn't call timeout because of the wind. Let's go down to Jeff Caves and see what he's got on.
Larry, I had a conversation with Dirk Cutter last night, sort of went over some of the final details for this Bronco football banquet that they're bringing back on Monday, which at the point now, you know, could be an SRO crowd. But I asked him about trick plays. I asked him about putting his signature on this football game based on the signature that Tormey had last season. He said, you know, there's really no more special trick plays that he had put in on the offensive side, but he did say they put it in the kicking game. And you saw where they put it. I'm getting the sense that Dirk Cutter and his signature this year, if this game continues on, will be nothing but an exorcism of the past. He will have the dagger. I think Dirk Cutter will continue to try to score this whole football game from what I can tell from here. Pope?
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Jeff. Here you see the standings right now. The Broncos 8-3 overall. Because they played Hawaii, they get to play 12 games this year. Aren't they lucky? No buys or anything. Boise State, Idaho 4-1 is still all on the line right here. The Big West Championship, a berth in the Humanitarian Bowl, all of that on the line. But right now, Boise State with a 21-0 lead. 10 seconds to go in the first quarter, trying to put this game away early. 1st and 10. Broncos with the ball at the 13-yard line. Davey Malathon, nowhere to go, but he loses a couple. Back to the 15-yard line. Good play by Rick Giampetri.
And again, that's the second time Boise State's tried to go to the outside. But this Vandal front, so mobile, they're not going to allow you outside the end. You're going to have to beat them up the middle. You're going to have to beat them off tackle. You're going to have to knock them off the ball. Don't try to outrun them to the sidelines because it won't work.
Going out of bounds, stop the clock with 6 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Second down now and about 12. Hendricks looking, throwing, incomplete. Lou Fanucchi stopped, looked back at the ball, couldn't quite make the catch.
Well, that will end the quarter. Definitely a ball that could have been caught, but a dangerous throw, too, and one that could be intercepted.
Well, we have played a full quarter of football here at Pullman at Martin Stadium, and our score, the Boise State Broncos 21, the Idaho Vandals nothing. Welcome back to Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. Boise State 21-0 over the Vandals. Wayne DeZubak along with Larry Pulowski with you. And there you see our Sinclair scoreboard right now. Minnesota beating Iowa today, 25-21. What a game that was. Purdue over Indiana, 30-24. Purdue number 25 in the country. Tennessee all over Kentucky, 56-21. And Idaho right here. Boise State now faced with a 3rd down and 11. Hendricks stepping up. Throwing for Mike Davison. He is out of bounds. He claims he had to have 1 foot in, and he claims he was, but the official was right there, made the call. Mike Davison trying to keep those feet in bounds. All he needed was 1 in bounds. Couldn't quite get it done.
It's close, but his feet, his toes could have been on the white. Hard to see from that angle, but it was a very close call. The referee right in position to make that call.
Well, Nick Kalaikai now to try to kick a field goal for Boise State. He's 13 out of 16 this year, and this one is up and good. And so Nick Kalaikai gives the Broncos a 24-point lead. 14:49 to go here in the first half, and our score now stands Boise State 24, Idaho nothing. Well, check it out for yourself. We slow it down. Mike Davison needs 1 foot in bounds. Looks like he may have had the right foot in bounds. Really close to call. Broncos get the field goal from Nick Kalaikai, and Brett Thompson will kick off. Broncos up 24-0. In the first quarter, the Broncos with 198 offensive yards to 59 for the Vandals. And Thompson puts a foot into it right now. The wind will slow it down. Lacey takes it at the 8-yard line and tries to hit across the field. And look out, this guy's tough. Boy, this guy's excited. He's knocked out of bounds. He gets out at the 35-yard line. Chris Lacey with a great return for the Vandals.
Well, the most amazing part of that is, Wayne, he caught the ball even with his wedge. I mean, the wind knocked that ball down so much that he caught it even with his wedge, and then he slashes across the field. And that technique has worked well for him in 3 of the kickoff returns he's had today. Very good yardage.
All right, the Vandals now in a 24-0 hole here in the second quarter. 11-play, 39-yard scoring drive for Boise State to 244. Welsh to Moody. Michael Moody breaks a couple of tackles, almost slips everybody. He gets about an 8-yard gain. So Michael Moody with a nice little run.
Greg Sasser finishes that off. Sasser, a guy that recovered the onside kick. He's been getting a lot more playing time, but really hasn't seen a lot of defensive playing time, but he's in there right now. Damon Bowie also in at the cornerback. Right cornerback position for Damon Schiller.
Now trying to give Damon a little bit of rest there. 2nd down and 2 for the Idaho Vandals. Chris Lacey goes in motion. Welsh, again Moody. Moody to the outside. Bounces off Greg Sasser and gets a first down. So the Vandals with a first down.
There's a late flag on the field too, Wayne.
We will check it out and see what happened. Have it right on the sidelines there. And it's going to be against the Vandals, but we'll check out what the call is. The Broncos were over there and they're pointing, saying it was against Idaho, but we will see. Block in the back, but we didn't see who was against. We got half the call.
We're still figuring it out.
Okay. Maybe we have.
Maybe they haven't figured it out.
Yeah. We may have 2 here. Let's see. All right, he's got it figured out. Personal foul against Idaho. So it wasn't a block in the back, it's a personal foul against Idaho. Let's go down to Jeff Caves. Jeff, what do you got for us?
Well, you may have seen Gavin Reed running around. He went back into the locker room, took his pants off, and he's getting iced and stretched, and they have taped and wrapped his groin. So now he's running it out. He thinks he's going to be okay. Keep an eye on him. He's a critical guy in kickoff cover, kickoff returns, and obviously in offense, too.
Well, thank you, Jeff. You're right about that being a critical player. Everywhere you look, it seems like Gavin Reed has been an impact player. So it was a 15-yard penalty. It's going to be a first down, but the ball now all the way back to the 38-yard line. So instead of having it in Boise State territory, Vandals are back at their own 38 again. Welsh has the time to throw. Nobody's out there except Dempsey Dees.
Vandal fans making a lot of noise here. They weren't happy with something that happened on the field, but you're right. Dempsey Dees was the only one that could have had any chance to catch that ball.
Now watch it again. We'll see if we can pick up. Like you say, the Vandal fans were unhappy. There a little bit of contact.
Brenton Michaels got his hands all over Chris Lacey, and again, no call.
So it'll be second down and 10. Welsh in the shotgun, throwing, complete. So a little one-on-one here, and that's going to be good for a first down. Again, the Vandals doing a good job. Now we've got flags on the sideline all over the place.
Well, Damon Bowie's got to get his head on straight because you can't make that play. He gets the guy out of bounds, and then he throws him down to the ground. That's an automatic 15-yard penalty, and that's always going to get called. Damon Bowie is going to get worked on just like Damon Schilling got worked on. Watch the dual isolation here with Welsh. The receiver at the bottom of your screen. Now, as this play carries out, if we get all the way to the end of the play, you'll see Bowie get him out of bounds and then continue. Now, right now, he's got to let go of him. Get out of there, but see, he throws him down.
Personal foul, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Of course, another not so smart thing on Damon Bowie's part is that he's doing that right over there in front of the Vandal bench.
Well, that's kind of play that can certainly just got the crowd back into the game a little bit.
Oh, no question. The crowd's been sitting on their hands for two reasons: to keep them warm, and the second reason because nothing's happened right for the Vandals in this game, and all of a sudden something happens. They're there, they're back, their team's down 24-0, but now they feel like, hey, we got the offense to try to come back, and maybe that's what they needed, that kind of a spark. They've been flat. We will see. First down for the Vandals. Ball at the 36-yard line, and Welsh straight drop back, throws complete. Townsley stepped out of bounds to the 29. So they're just kind of working on Damon Bowie right there in front of them.
Well, any cornerback that's been on the opposite side of Dempsey Dees for the Broncos has gotten worked on this year. You see him step out of bounds right there before he gets the first down. Bowie this time, I guess, learns his lesson quickly. Once he knocks him out of bounds, he leaves him alone.
Well, you know, the thing that Bowie does is he gives a lot of yards, a lot of ground. He comes back it up, and so they feel like there's a lot of softness over there on that left side of the offense, so they're going to go that way. Now Damon comes up, plays right in your face, but backs off again. See what happens on a second down and 3. Willie Alderson in motion. They're looking back again towards Bowie's side, and again they've got the receiver wide open. And again they're working on Bowie.
Well, John Welsh and Chris Tormey certainly going to keep going back to a good thing. Well, getting the cushion off that left corner. That time Welsh came on the drawback, looked right, but he was going left all the way.
Well, again, one of the big things that you got to do if you're Damon Bowie right now, you got to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to have to come up here and this is going to have to grow up and make something happen. Vandals with another first down. This is their best scoring attempt right this game. Jeff Welch, straight drop back. Little screen, Michael Moody. Lots of running room. Moody down to the 5-yard line. Kareem Williams made the final stop, but a nice play by the Vandals over the middle, little screen pass.
Well, that's certainly one way to counteract the blitz. And the Broncos have had a number of blitzes. The defensive line gets upfield, they dump it off on a middle screen to Moody, and he knows what to do when he gets the ball. He takes it down to the 5.
It'll be second down and about a yard. Packers with 4 men down. Alderson in motion. Hand off to Moody. Moody's got the first down, and it'll be first and goal for the Idaho Vandals. Greg Sasser made the stop for BSU. First and goal. The ball is placed down right at the 2-yard line. Substitutions come in for Idaho. They had to make a long run that time. Anthony Tenner, the lone running back for Idaho. He gets the football. Looks outside. And he will lose about a yard back to the 3.
Well, John Reitman did a good job getting upfield from his defensive end position, and it created a little bit of a hesitation on Tenner's part. See the penetration there by Reitman, makes him cut to the outside, and then he's got plenty of time for his friends to help, like Kareem Williams and Quentin Michael.
2nd and goal for the Vandals. Ball back now to the 3-yard line. Davian Schilling, by the way, back in at right corner for Boise State. Davian has that bad kneecap, but he may have to go. Well, that's Tenner. Trying to get outside. Finds a hole. He's in for the touchdown. Nice cut by Tenner.
Well, Tony Altieri had a shot at him in the backfield, couldn't make the tackle, and Tenner did a great job of cutting back against the grain and taking the ball straight upfield. Chance there, Altieri just can't keep his feet and try to make the tackle, but Tenner knows where to take it. He takes it right straight up the field, right to the goal line.
Saw the difference there. Dempsey D's kind of waiting for Tenner to take it to him, and Brian Johnson came into your screen and really popped Tenner right there at the goal line. He had already crossed the plane, and so the Vandals are on the board. Ben Davis's kick is good. And so with 11 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the first half of this ball game from Martin Stadium in Pullman, the score, Boise State 24 and the Idaho Vandals 7. Crowd back in this one after that nice touchdown by Anthony Tenner. 24-7 our score here. Other scores from around the country. Missouri in big trouble. Boston College Notre Dame tied at 17 in the 3rd quarter. Utah BYU 6-3 at halftime. The Utes leading the Cougars right there. Speaking about scores, don't forget our Heart of the West Sports Stores halftime report. Jason Sloss will have all the updates for you coming up at halftime of our ball game here. That's the Heart of the West Sports Stores halftime report. Ben Davis coming on to kick the ball off, and the wind blows off the tee, so a momentary lull in action here. 11:04 to go first half. 24-7, Boise State leads it. Wayne DeZubak along with Larry Pulaski. Hope you're enjoying their statewide coverage of this Vandal football game. Vandal and Boise State Broncos, the winner, the Big West champ, and representing the conference at the Humanitarian Bowl. Ben Davis kicks it low. Broncos scoop it up. Brock Forsey, and he's got a hole, and he gets it out to nearly the 28-yard line.
Well, you can certainly see why Brock Forsey, a Centennial High product out of Boise, has been the guy returning kickoffs. He gets that ball and he takes it north and south, and has done a real nice job in the last 3 weeks of returning kicks.
Jordan Kramer made the stop on that play.
I'd like to thank Harmon Travel, the official travel agency of the Boise State Alumni Association. Whether it's business or personal travel, Harmon Travel can take care of all your travel needs.
All right, the Broncos with the first down. Ball at the 28-yard line. They're up 24-7 here. Got trips to the near side. Hendricks has the time over the middle. Jeff Putzier has the first down. He's near midfield at the 48-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 17. Brought down by Rick Giampetri and Mac Jasek.
Putzier, the huge target in the middle of the field, 6'5", 225-pound wide receiver out of Eagle High School. When he catches the ball, Wayne, and I say when because he's had a little bit of the dropsies once in a while this year, but when he catches it, he's a big guy and he's a converted tight end. He's tough to bring down.
Yeah, you know, Jay Swilley's bigger than people think, too. He's 6'3", so the Broncos with a couple of big wide receivers in there get a first down at the 48-yard line. And is Brock Forsey in there now to the 45-yard line into Vandal territory. Gain of about 7.
Nofo Inga coming from his linebacker spot to make that shoestring tackle. You know, when Nofoinga grabs your shoestring, you pretty much go down, Wayne, and Brock Forsey found the turf in a hurry there.
You know, and that's the first time today that we have called his number. We talked about him in the pregame show, came into this game with 110 tackles overall on the season, and he is so active and he is so impressive on film, and that's the first time we've really called him, so the Broncos have done a good job of neutralizing Chris Nofoinga. Broncos in the second down and 3. Brock Forsey trying to cut back, and there's a flag down. You got to believe probably holding in the middle of the offensive line there. Rick Giampetri made the stop.
That's exactly what it is. So they'll back the Broncos up. They get 2nd and 13.
Now when that flag comes flying in right there, you know what it is.
Yeah, they just throw it with disdain at those offensive linemen. You know, here, take that.
Weren't you the one to tell me that the NFL guys, the referees, just kind of put a coin in there so they can throw right at your helmet so it dings off your helmet?
Yeah, they have like stat points for every helmet they hit. You know, because when a helmet gets hit with a coin
on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, it remains second down.
It's like somebody shooting a pistol off next to your ear. I mean, it just rattles your brain.
Well, the Broncos now have some work to do after a nice 7-yard gain on first down. A penalty nullifies that. The Broncos are looking at 2nd down and 12 back in their own territory at the 46-yard line. End around. This is Davey Malathon of Malathon trying to find a little bit of a crease. That play worked so well against New Mexico State. Chris Nofoinga was there to make the stop, but it worked so well against New Mexico State that the Broncos really feel comfortable running this thing.
Well, Giampetri out there also for the Vandals, but pretty good wall set up here and good yardage gained on this play, a 2nd down play. But Malathon is, you know, he's not going to dance around out there. He's just going to take it north and south. Nofoinga, Giampetri, they take care of the situation, but it brings up 3rd and 1.
Broncos have run the clock down to 9:05 here to go in the first half with a 24-7 lead. 3rd down and 2. There's the pitch. Malathon has the first down. Woo! That's about it. Well, he had that first contact. I thought he was going to go down, and Davey is a tough character. He stayed up there. Bryson Gardner, the guy that hit him.
Bryson Gardner put a lick on. That was a great hit. Watch Davey Malathon get straightened up here on the right side as the pitch comes from Hendricks. Watch this contact. Great hit, stands him up, turns him around, but he still had enough for the first down. Bryson Gardner, big time hit.
I don't know who did the hitting there. It was Davey Malathon had dropped his shoulder, and Bryson Gardner just kind of withstood it all. Wow. Handoff. This is Brock Forsey. And Forsey down inside the 35-yard line. Jeff Caves, what do you got for us?
Well, Wayne, you're going to get used to calling Brock Forsey's number. Gavin Reed tried. His right hamstring has been wrapped in ice. Not going to work out. So Gavin Reed is pretty much done for the day. So we'll keep an eye on those special teams plays. We know what he did in the block situation earlier this year. And somebody has to pick up the tempo on offense. Wayne?
All right, thank you, Jeff. I mean, I tell you what, you know, those hamstrings on a cold day like today, this is the first cold day that everybody's really had. And obviously those hamstrings are susceptible to that kind of stuff. 2nd down and 6 for BSU. Forsey breaks outside, and he's wrestled to the ground. Giampetri, the man who made the stop. They're calling his name a lot. He's out of Spokane, Washington, so he's kind of playing here in his home country.
Well, Forsey that time tried to bounce the run to the outside. Sometimes the better part of valor is to stay behind those big, massive offensive linemen that Boise State has. Maybe you can get a little line surge and get closer to the first down, but bouncing it outside probably won't work real well for Brock Forsey.
Better part of survival as well. Well, the crowd's still here. 3rd down and 3. They're trying to make some noise, and they're doing a pretty darn good job of it. Hendricks, the pass. Complete fumble. And let's see what happened. They call it an incomplete pass. I thought he took about 3 steps, Bo.
Well, he must never have had the ball because the line judge came over quickly and made the call incomplete.
Now we'll have to see it here if we can see it better from this angle.
End zone camera here with Putzier. Never really has the ball.
Yeah.
Good call.
See, from my angle, all I saw was his back, and it looked like he took about 3 steps and had the football, but obviously the official could see it better than I. Said he never had possession. Maybe just as good for BSU.
Broncos going to go for it here with, now they're going to take time out and discuss it.
Well, a field goal would be tough. You got a little bit of wind, crosswind, so Boise State will call timeout to talk about whether to kick, whether to come up with a play, and what to do.
Well, if you look at the field position that the Vandals have had on kickoff returns, they've started almost every time from the 35, and the Boise State defense has done a fairly good job with the exception of that last drive in containing him. So they might go for the 4th and 4 right here. Let that defense take over.
The thing of it is that Boise State makes it. They've done a good job of running this clock down. It seemed like the first quarter took forever because you had 19-second drives, you had a lot of incompleted passes. And so now there's 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Boise State leads it 24-7. And the Broncos have run a lot of clock on this particular series, and they'd like to continue to do it if they could make this 4th down.
Well, the way the defense is played, I'm not sure it's a critical decision one way or the other, but the way that Dirk Cutter's been calling this game today, he has not been conservative. That's one thing that I know a lot of people, and sometimes I have accused him of getting a little too conservative when he gets ahead, but that certainly hasn't been the case today.
I'll tell you what Dirk did. Dirk went after that North Texas game. He just said, we're going to get aggressive on offense to see what we can do, and they just went after it. Here you see the Vandal defensive squad talking to Chris Tormey. And they've kind of got a game plan. Here's your total offense right now, 240-102. And most of that 102 came on that last drive by the Vandals. Before that, they were down around 59. Got the offense out there. They're going to go for it on 4th down. And like you said, Bo, most of the Vandal drives have started at about the 30, so they're really in a no-lose situation here if they don't make it. But they will certainly try. 4th and 4. A pitch out. Hamilton cuts it up. He can't get there. Nice stop by Ryan Knowles. He was the only guy that could goof that play up, and he did a great job, and the Vandals will get the ball back.
Well, I'm sure the Boise State thought process there is that they're hoping they don't have to make the pitch. Bart wants to call his own number, but there's nowhere for him to go. And there's nowhere for Malathong to go either. Great rally to the ball by the Vandals, and they'll take over at the 32.
So the Vandals come out with trips to the near side. They've got 6:52 to go here in the first quarter, or first half rather. And of course, obviously, their situation is they're down 24-7. They've got to get something going.
Reset the clock. 7:03. 7:03.
Well, they're just talking about resetting that clock. So forget the 6:52 I just told you about. I'm going to reset it to 7:03.
That's tough when your own home clock keeper runs time off for you. You expect them to stop it short.
That probably happens. He's probably cheering a big stop by Ryan Knowles.
Of course, he may be, I guess, the Cougar timekeeper. I'm not sure how that works.
There you go. I'm not sure. It's a sheer time thing, you know. Well, the ball is tipped. And there was no way anybody was going to get it. Nice job by the Broncos to put some pressure and keep the hands up and tip the ball.
I think Mike Malloy got his hands up on that pass, popped it up into the air, and that's a dangerous thing for a quarterback to see when that ball gets tipped. Watch out the left side of your screen here. I think it was Malloy. There it is right there. He gets his big mitts on it.
So it's 2nd down and 10 now. Preston Monaco telling Chris Lacey what the play was. Just a handoff to Tenor. Tenor is met by Malloy, Kareem Williams, and a couple of others.
Bradley Phillips, Bennett, Johnson.
Yeah, you could just sit there and name that whole defensive front they were in on that play.
Somebody has to get credit for that tackle. I bet number 34 gets it because he gets most of them, and he should get most of them. Brian Johnson, Pocatello native, senior for this club, had a great career here at Boise State.
3rd down and 9 now. Idaho Vandals come up under center. That's Welsh, no back attack. They pass underneath the Tenor. A great job by Kareem Williams to get over there and stop him shy of the 40-yard line. That'll be about 2 yards shy of a first down. That's just great speed to get over there and make that play.
Kareem Williams, you can see him there in your screen. He was almost head up with the center, Uses some great athletic ability and good speed to get over there and get Tenor out of bounds. Set up a punt situation.
A lot of crazy things have happened here in this ball game. Damian Schilling going back. He's in that bright sunshine.
And watch here, Wayne, for a quick counter, maybe a shift of some kind. The Vandals might try something to get him to jump off sides.
Well, 4th and 2. This is an area you might think they would try to maybe fake or do something. Spivak, he'll kick it away. Nice booming boot with the win. Schilling at the 7-yard line. Schilling looking for a wall, never does get it, and he stopped at the 12. And a great play there by Evero. Well, there you have it. 24-7, Boise State leads it. We'll be back. Well, that's the situation. 6:01 to go here in the first half. Broncos up 24-7. Idaho has some momentum going for them. And the Boise State Broncos will have the football at the 14-yard line. Wayne DeZubak, Larry Pulowski, Jeff Caves down on the sideline with you. Hope you're enjoying the statewide coverage of this football game between the Vandals and the Broncos. There's the numbers on Bart Hendricks. He's also scored a touchdown running. He's already had a game in less than the first half. Handoff up the middle, nothing there. Broncos trying not to do anything goofy here. Will Beck just stopped up the middle.
And Wayne, you mentioned our statewide network. We'd like to welcome our viewers on KIDK, Channel 3 in Idaho Falls, Pocatello, on Channel 55, KDID in Twin Falls, and our viewers at KLEW in Lewiston, the Lewis and Moscow area. We'd like to welcome you all to the Bronco Television Network.
We don't want to forget KBCI, Channel 2 in Boise. All those guys watching us there, we appreciate it. Got a good game going for you here. 2nd down and 10, no gain there. Brock Forsey trying to pick his way through what hole there was, and he maybe have gotten about 3.
Well, if Brock can try to keep his feet under him a little bit, we've seen 3 or 4 times he's been tripped up right there also. He could probably pick up a few more yards, and that's something that Davey Malafong, I really respect his ability to keep his feet under him.
Well, Davey Malafong coming into the ball game now, replacing Brock Forsey as it's a 3rd down and 5. Crowd getting into it, as you can hear. Hendricks has plenty of run. Hendricks gets the first down and slides down after getting the first down, and that's something the coaches have been telling them to do. Go down, don't necessarily take a hit.
Well, I'll be dogged. I didn't think I'd ever see that happen. Bart Hendricks, he's taken some wicked hits this year. He has had some great runs and some courageous runs, and this guy has earned the right to slide down, Wayne, and a very smart play on his part. He needs to be around for this whole game.
Now the Broncos pick up a much-needed first down because they want that clock to keep running. It's down to 4:20 and counting here in the first half. And up, Forsey again, hit hard. We got a flag down, too, in the middle of the line of scrimmage. And again, that could be a holding. Rick Giampetri made the stop on Brock Forsey.
I would dare say we'll see a 1st and 20 situation for the Broncos.
Well, it's always so tough because, you're handing off up the middle, just trying to play it safe. You're not trying to do anything fancy. Keep the clock moving, and then you get a flag like that. It stops the clock, does a lot of things you don't want to do.
Well, usually what happens in that case, Wayne, is that a defensive lineman kind of slips off of the blocker, and the blocker just tackles him.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. It remains first down.
Now what the Vandals are trying to do here, they're trying to come up with some big defensive play to get this thing back in. They have pretty much done that all year. And the Broncos know that. They're just trying to maintain what they can. And around. This is Davey Malafong. Malafong tries to cut it up and gets to the 15-yard line. And Davey would have been better off if he just kept it running. He barely got back to the original line of scrimmage before just a host of guys in black and gold brought him down.
Well, the short motion by Boise State, they bring that slot man back across the formation, quick handoff to him, and then he tries to follow that wall around the end. And Davey Malafong, a little uncharacteristically there, kind of hesitated And when you hesitate against this defensive front of Idaho, you normally will lose.
Second down and 19. Again, just a straight handoff. And again, you can tell what the Broncos are doing as Will Beck makes the stop. They are just saying, okay, fine. If we're going to have to punt this away, that's fine. We'll give it back to you. But we'll run some clock while we do it. There's a tough quarterback. He's got a ripped jersey. He's got blood on his left sleeve. He's got, he's playing on a turf. And look at it. He's got dirt. Looks like he's playing on the grass. This is 3rd and 18. Baton, throws it, completes it to Jay Swilly, and Swilly is out very close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. He's at the 25-yard line, which would be 35, which would be just a little bit short. Now they give him the 36.
Yeah, it's going to be short, Wayne, about a half a yard short. Great effort by Jay Swilly to get as much as he could on that one, but it's going to be a little short of the first down. I mean, he just puts his head down and tries to get what he can and gets drilled out of bounds.
He was looking for that marker right there, and like you say, he just came up about 7 or 8 inches short. So Jeff Edwards will be here. This is his first punt. Well, Jeff Edwards will be kicking it away. Kind of comes off the side of his foot. Broncos will let it bounce, and they'll down it at the 32. So with 2:20 to go here. 2:20 to go here in the first half. Let's go down to Jeff Cave. Jeff?
You know, Wayno, the University of Idaho's attendance was accomplished at the NCAA level after their 3rd home game here in Martin Stadium. Didn't stop Athletic Director Mike Bone from running a full-page ad, sell out for a championship for the Vandals. Take a look at this crowd. There was estimates it could be 30,000 to 20,000. I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 25. Wayne?
All right, thank you very much. And it's a loud crowd. They're trying to get their Vandals back into this ball game. The pass that was intended there for Rossi Martin, and Rossi just couldn't find a handle on it, throwing a little bit behind him.
Yeah, it definitely was thrown behind him, and as the sun starts to go down here, this field is going to be a little bit damp. There's been some rain here the last couple of days, and as that moisture gets onto the ball, trying to make a catch behind your back is going to be a little bit more difficult.
2nd down and 10 for Idaho. Moving all over the place on defense. Welsh, pump fake. Now he throws. Got a man wide open. That's going to be good for the first down. And that's Rossi again. This time he was on the left side.
Damon Schilling and Ross Ferris out there on coverage. Schilling and Damon Bowie trading time at the right cornerback position. And again, all kinds of room out there for Martin. Look at that cushion.
Yeah, really. You know, they're in that little bit of a prevent there, but you still got to go after it. Pass. Caught. And that was a nice catch by Ryan Prestamonico, who was actually on his back on the ground when the ball hit him.
Vandals in their hurry-up offense, trying to get this thing into the end zone before the half ends.
Welsh. Looking left now, and sacked. He may have fumbled the football.
An incomplete pass. The referee, the white hat, came up and made the call immediately.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of Bronco fans will have to take a look at it again, but I tell you, he was really hit. See if his arm was going forward.
There's a close-up. Looks right, looks left, and then Quentin Michael.
He was actually trying to tuck it in. Quentin Michael hit him. He wasn't trying to throw it. He was trying to tuck it in. And I'll tell you what, that should have been a fumble.
And from the referee's point of view, he sees that arm motion going forward. He's going to call that a pass. So that's what he sees.
He doesn't have that replay, huh?
Only the replay in his mind, Dwayne.
3rd down and about a yard. Remember that. So this is a key play here for Idaho to get the first down.
Johnson says no way.
Yep, Brian Johnson, the man who made the stop. Now, if you're Idaho, you don't kick it away here. You've got to go for it on 4th down, I think, although they're bringing the punt team out.
Brian Johnson shoots the gap, gets upfield, and he says, I am not going to allow you to get that first down.
And I guess this is a smart move because that was a bigger loss than I had thought. I mean, that went all the way back from a 3rd down and 1. Now it's 4th down and 4, maybe closer to 5. So Spiva, Justin Spiva will come on and kick this away. And the Broncos, with the 56 seconds and counting, don't want to make a whole lot of mistakes. Damian Schilling running over, lets it hit. Idaho should be able to down this inside the 5-yard line, and they do. Vandals have 2 timeouts left, so the Broncos will be able to just pretty much take knees and get this thing out of here.
Well, that's definitely what they need to do because you do not want to make any errors down here, a missed exchange and a handoff. You've got to cover all the bases right here. And Damian Schilling he tried like heck to get over to catch that ball, but it was kind of shanked off the side of Davis's foot. Schilling couldn't get over there, but 45 seconds left. I don't think the Broncos are going to be too worried about this.
Well, the Vandals can stop the clock twice, but they can't stop it that 3rd time, is where the Broncos would take care of business. So the Broncos will probably just snap it to Bart. He'll take a knee, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Look where they put Jeff Putsier. They put him up and back.
Well, he's the safety man in case the ball pops out.
Now they're just going to pull forward, and now Idaho should take a timeout, at least make Boise State snap it twice, actually 2 more times, but maybe they're not.
Not going to do it. It's like both teams ready to just go in, regroup. The Vandals trying to figure out how they're going to come back from this 24-7 deficit. The Broncos probably trying to figure out a way to put a few more points on the board and keep John Welsh under check.
Again, remember, Heart of the West Fort Stores halftime report. Jason Sloss will be with you to bring you up to date on what's happening this rivalry day in college football. That's going to be the last play of the first half. What a great first half for the Boise State Broncos. 21 first quarter points, a field goal in the second quarter, and the Boise State Broncos go to the locker room, leading this game by a score of 24-7 over arch rival Idaho. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are at Martin Stadium. There you see the Boise State Broncos returning from their locker room talk with head coach Dirk Cutter. And what did Dirk Cutter tell them? What does Dirk Cutter think? I'll tell you what, Jeff Caves is down at the sideline now. Let's go down to Jeff Caves and see what he has to say.
All right, Wayne, I just had a long jog with Dirk Cutter because he wanted to get back as well. It's a pretty long walk where Boise State's at. No surprises in the first half, according to Dirk, as it relates to what Idaho presented Boise State defensively. The impact of Mautosi, he said, look, we had a game plan that we were going to execute one way or the other. The wind is a big factor. Which side will Idaho take in this 3rd quarter? Will they want the wind at their back? Will they want their wind at the back in the 4th quarter? He said that's critical to his play calling in this next quarter. And the reason things got a little more conservative in the 2nd quarter was because of the wind. He wasn't comfortable with where the wind was at coming against him. Wayne?
All right, thanks a bunch, Jeff. And of course, you have to remember when he starts talking about a long jog with Cutter, when he was doing 20-yard sprints, he used to think they were jogs.
Well, I noticed him, he wasn't breathing too hard, but he was sucking a little bit for air down there. Maybe Coach Cutter's in just a little better shape, possibly, than our sideline man, Mr. Caves.
That can't be the case. We are getting ready for our Jack-in-the-Box kickoff here to start this 3rd quarter. Boise State with a 24-7 lead. Our 3rd quarter kickoff brought to you by Jack-in-the-Box. Well, wind there is, and it seems to have died down, and I think the wind's going to become less of a factor because what it did last night is that at about this time as the sun starts to go down, and I think that's a meteorological thing, the wind goes down.
Good word, Wayne. Good word. A lot of syllables.
Don't ask me to spell it, and don't ask me to say it again. So here we go. Kickoff to start the 3rd quarter of this football game. And the Broncos take it 5 yards deep, and they'll say, okay, Brock Forsey says that's good. We'll take it to the 20 and live with that.
Well, Brock Forsey wanted to bring that out, but that was a good decision. When you're that deep in the end zone, I know that Chris Lacey got away with it earlier for the Vandals, but the odds of getting that back out to the 20 are not good. Bart Hendricks' numbers on the day, 7 of 12 for 163. Good half so far. And with a couple of TD passes, and not to mention a running TD. Bart's been very, very much a part of that first half.
Well, speaking of that wind, everybody was talking about it. Right now, there is none. It has died down completely here to start this third quarter. Broncos 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Bart stepping up. Guys flying all over the place, and he's going to be sacked. First time today that Bart Hendricks has been sacked. J.J. Johnston got in there. He came flying in.
Well, he comes out of there with the ball. Bart steps up into the pocket. Will Beck collapses it in on him, and then Johnston comes in later and strips the ball out of there, but he was already down. Good coverage by the Vandal defensive secondary. They had all three of the wide receivers boxed up for Boise State.
That's going to be 2nd down and 14. Hendricks to Jeb Putzier. Jeb trying to make a move, can't quite do it, gets only a couple of yards. You know, this turf down here is really tough. It's a little different kind of a turf. Rick Giampetri, the guy that made the stop, it's kind of a sand-based thing. They usually water it down. They had a lot of water, but, you know, now that it dries out, I think it could get a little slipperier here in the second half.
Well, big decision here for Dirk Cutter. You know, he really doesn't want to make a mistake with 3rd and 12, but he really needs a first down, so I would expect to see wide receivers in the middle of this play.
Chase Willie comes near side, as does Jeff Putzier. And the Broncos looking to throw. They throw out to Swilly, who makes the catch at the 30. Let's see where they mark his progress. Right at the 30. That should be a first down. What a big catch by Jay Swilly, and what a job to hang on, because he got hit.
Well, and he knew he was going to get hit, too. This is a long pass. This comes from midfield all the way out to the sideline. Again, Swilly gets just enough when he catches that ball, and then it's up to the referee to spot it, and he spotted it at the 30.
Well, they got a pretty good spot, I thought, because after looking at the replay there, it looks like he was stopped just inside the 30. But a nice job by Jay Swilly to catch, hang on after the hit. The Broncos get a first down just outside the 30-yard line. One thing we've seen, the Vandals are coming. Oh, look at that. What a great job by the middle. I had to be Will Beck down here somewhere, right in the middle.
Yep, you called it right. He was in the middle, and he was taking up more than his share of space in the middle. Will Beck sniffs this one out. A little line stunt up front. You're right, Wayne. They're getting some movement up front. A little more blitz, a little more aggressive posture by this defense. I think Chris Torrey might have had a little bit of a tongue lashing for the defense on the halftime segment.
Another loss for Boise State. Make it 2nd down and 11 now. Hendricks, that's the time now. The throw, it's intercepted. And that is intercepted by Rick Giampetri, and Giampetri is down to the 20-yard line. You know, he had a man wide open, never saw Giampetri, and instead of throwing it over Giampetri's head, threw it right to him.
First big mistake we've seen out of Bart Hendricks today. He's got a little time to throw the ball. Will Beck comes over late, but the pass thrown right directly to Giampetri's hands. And Swilly was open, but he never saw him, Wayne. He was in his blind spot.
Mike Davison finally knocking him out of bounds, but a golden opportunity for the Vandals, down 24-7 to try and get right back in this thing.
Vandal offensive lineman trying to quiet the crowd down a little bit so they can hear their signals being called.
John Welch. Nobody open. Now he's got somebody in the end zone. This is intercepted by Quentin Michael. And Quentin Michael makes it out to the 17-yard line. I said that Lacey was open in the end zone. What happened that time is that Quentin Michael did the same thing to me that he did to John Welch. He suckered him into throwing it to Lacey because there was no way he was open.
Well, one good turnover deserves another. Quentin Michael, now Welch drops straight back. He's first receiver's covered. He flushes out to the right. Now watch Quentin Michael. The ball's just kind of thrown up for grabs, and Quentin Michael right there to catch the ball. I'm not sure what John Welch is thinking when he throws this ball, but great results for the Broncos and horrible results for the Vandals.
So the Broncos get the ball back and breathe a sigh of relief for the moment. Back-to-back interceptions. And that's Davey Malathan to the 19, maybe.
You know, even if you can't see Malathong's number, you usually know who it is if you see the impact, because there always seems to be an impact at the end of a run that Davey Malathong carries out, whether it's him getting hit and bouncing around or him hitting somebody. There's always contact.
Well, they mark it right at the 20-yard lines. That's a gain of 3. A nice run there by Davey Malathong. Here you see the numbers on him. The quick throw over the middle. It is complete. It's going to be just shy of the 25-yard line. That'll leave the Broncos with a 3rd down and 2.
Well, there's no way that Jeb Putzier could drop that ball. Okay, Bart throws that thing so hard right into his stomach that there's no way it's going anywhere. It embedded itself right in his belly, and there's no way he's going to drop that ball.
Take a week for the Wilson on his chest to just kind of go away, huh? A little tattoo.
But for most guys, it would have been their chest. For Putzier, it's his stomach.
3rd down and a 1.5 yards for the Broncos. Again, a big 3rd down play to try to maintain possession. They throw it to Putzier. He has the 1st down, and he hangs on. And boy, for a guy who's come under some criticism for not catching some big footballs, he made a great catch there when Rick Giampetri pasted him.
Now, this is just the opposite of the last play. The last one was drilled in. This one he has to go up for across the middle. Kramer with the finish of the tackle there. Giampetri with the start of the tackle.
That was actually Kramer who pasted him. Giampetri is the guy that had him around the ankle. So I guess he's the kind of guy you got to get high and low, and the Broncos get a 1st down. Big thing is the Broncos trying to run this clock. And Rick steps up into the pocket, looking, and he can't find Stahelski.
Well, that's the first time they've tried to stretch this defense with the passing game that I can recall, probably in the last 4 or 5 series, Wayne. They've really kind of grounded out. They're working the possession game on the receiving end, running the ball with Malathong and Brock Forsey a little bit. That's the first time they went deep, and they went to the tight end. That's a very interesting call by Dirk.
Well, there you see Dirk Cutter making the call. Then you also saw Brian Harsin over there. He kind of walked out of the screen for a moment, signaled in some of the plays. Bart Hendricks on a 2nd down and 10 now. Time in the world. The throw is way off target and intended there for Lou Fanucci. But pretty good coverage. Bradshaw on the coverage.
I noticed Bart that time when he went back to set up, slipped a little bit, Wayne, on his initial setup. So you're right. I think your theory that maybe a little ice crystal forming on this field.
Well, there's nothing in the sun anymore. Everything is in the shade. It's starting to cool down here. Another big 3rd down play for the Broncos. 3rd down and 10. Fanucci comes to the near side as the Judd Putzier. Vandal show blitz, don't count. The throw, intercepted. Boy, I'll tell you, he read that one. Cleavon Bradshaw did, and he comes up with an interception. So here in this 3rd quarter, just like that, Bart Hendricks has been intercepted twice, and the Vandals will have the football at the 30 when we come back. Boise State leads at 24-7, but the Vandals have some momentum. All right, take a look at the interception here by Cleavon Bradshaw.
Well, Bart's throwing the out route and read perfectly by Bradshaw, and luckily for the Broncos, Bradshaw had to make a diving catch, kind of loses his footing a little bit. Well, he's gone for 6. Just trips over the back of Mike Davidson.
So Bart has been intercepted twice here in the 3rd quarter, and once again, it's John Welsh and company. They flip it out to Moody, and Moody's got some white shirts there. He's in trouble. And Matt Hill brings him down back at the 38-yard line.
It's becoming very apparent that footing has got a lot to do with the second half of this ball game. As he caught that ball, he goes out to the right-hand side and tried to cut back. It's just not there. The footing's not there.
This field kind of interesting, the turf that it is. When you first go on it, it almost feels like you're walking on cardboard. That's why they wet it down before most games, but Welch from the shotgun. Over the middle. Intercepted.
Quentin Michael again.
And Quentin Michael gets away from one tackle, spins at the 40, and is up to the 41-yard line. And so we have seen 4 interceptions in the third quarter.
I'm standing here speechless because I've never seen anything like this before. This is absolutely an amazing sequence of interceptions. You go from a first half with no turnovers to 4 interceptions within the first 7 minutes of the second half. Quentin Michael stepping up to the plate, the redshirt freshman. Has that kid got a career ahead of him at Boise State, Wayne?
Yeah, he does. He does indeed. He's an impact player. Broncos have the football back, and despite the fact they've thrown 2 interceptions, no damage has been done because Quentin Michael's come up with 2. Here's the handoff, and here you can see that field is horrible right now. Nobody can cut. You're going to have to go straight north and south.
And you really have to chop those feet, Wayne. When you start to make a cut, you cannot try to plant and cut. You've got to chop and cut. And that's a little slower developing situation, but that's the only way you're going to get upfield at this point.
Yeah, Will Beck's going to get the credit for the tackle there, but I tell you what, it was the old turf monster jumping up and grabbing you. It's a tough field to play on. Like I say, it's a sand-based type thing. You wet it down every game, but you didn't want to wet it down today, and the temperature's starting to drop. It's probably in the upper 30s here. Second down and 9. Speed option. Malathon. Just as I say, go north and south. They stretch it out east and west, huh?
Well, again, it's going to be interesting to see whether plays like that are going to continue to be positive for either team just because of that situation. But Malathon does manage to pick up about 6 on the play, bring up a 3rd and a long 3.
One thing about this field, there's really not much of a crown on it. I think there's a little bit of a crown, but not much. Not like you've ever been on Broncos Stadium. It seems like you're a foot lower when you're standing on the sidelines when you're standing at the center of the field. 3rd down and a long 3 right now. Ball at the 48-yard line. Hendricks throws incomplete. Intended for Mike Davison right through his hands. Really fired that puppy. I guess maybe Bart's a little bit gun shy here.
Well, that was definitely a very uncatchable ball for Davidson. Davidson's been a big play guy for the Broncos the last 4 or 5 weeks, but couldn't even get his hands on that one. And Bart definitely wasn't throwing that one anywhere it was going to be intercepted.
Vern Bernard goes deep for the Vandals as Jeff Edwards comes out. 8:30 to go. The Broncos have had the ball for a long time, back and forth. Almost blocked, but Jeff Edwards with a great punt. Bernard lets it hit, and he goes into the end zone. The Vandals will have it at the 20-yard line. I'll tell you, Idaho did a pretty good job of trying to get in there. That was J.J. Johnston almost got it. So there you have it. 8:21 to go in the third. It's still 24-7, Boise State. They're back. Wayne Zubak, Larry Pulowski with you. 24-7. Boise State leads it here in the third quarter. Our Sinclair scoreboard. Florida State, Florida tied at 16. They are now in the third quarter. Michigan. Oh man, Penn State's had a tough run of 3 weeks in a row. Look at this. Michigan State leading that one. Here go the Vandals. That's Moody. And Moody caught from behind, goes down, but he gets a gain of about 7, but he went down pretty hard, and let's see if he gets up.
Flag down too, Wayne, at the 27-yard line.
What happened was Moody got clipped from behind. There was going to be a holding against Idaho, so that won't count. But Moody got clipped from behind, and he went down. When you don't know the guy's going to come back and clip your heels like that, it hurts.
Well, the play designed, it looked like to me, to go inside the tackle on a trap play. But he had to bounce it outside because the hole wasn't there. Bennett tracks him down from behind. The holding call out there on the outside.
On the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run. Remains first down.
So they'll mark it back to the 16, right between the 16 and 17-yard line. We'll call it the 17 for all intents and purposes. Here you see the numbers on Welsh. Intercepted twice in a matter of 2 minutes. Welsh rolls to his right, looking for a wide-open Jeffrey Townsley and misses him. Ross Ferris was on the coverage, kind of, because Townsley was wide open, but the ball was thrown, and I think everybody's having trouble with their footing down there. We've got Jeff Caves working on that. He's doing soil samples. He's doing everything down there.
Well, Welsh, you can see maybe a little bit of the inactivity. I mean, he hasn't played a lot this year. He has not had the opportunity to be out there and get into the flow of many games. So, you know, that inactivity will hurt you. I mean, you could come out and look pretty good the first time you come out. I know he looked pretty darn good against Montana in some cases last week.
gets about 5. Brian Johnson made the stop. Let's go down to Jeff Caves. Jeff, what's up?
Well, I just consulted with my soil tester, and there's really not that much problem down here, although when the ball hits the turf off of a pass, the ball boy said, yeah, we switch it out right away because at least half that ball is wet. I think the kids are adjusted by now. I just think they're missing their routes, Wayne.
All right, good enough. We've also seen some slippage, though, if you will, so we'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, 3rd down. 6 yards to go for the Idaho Vandals. Ball at the 24-yard line. Chris Lacey in motion. And Welsh. Here comes the blitz. He's letting it fly for Townsley. Dempsey D's. And it's knocked away. And man, I tell you, it could have been caught, and then intercepted again. But you just stay with the program. You can see Townsley knew he had an opportunity to make a rebound catch and maybe take it in for the TD. But Dempsey stayed with it.
Dempsey D's has the coverage. And if the ball's thrown over Townsley's right shoulder, he'll make that catch pretty easily. But the ball thrown to the inside, that definitely gives the defensive man the advantage there. Dees hits it first, Townsley gets a piece, Dees gets a piece, then the turf gets the rest.
Man, that's one-on-one. That's classic one-on-one. Damian Schilling back to receive the punt from Spiva. Well, he gets it up there, gets good hang time. Now, Damian Schilling, a lot of running room. Damian trying to drops the ball, but it's recovered by Boise State. Chase Swan fell on it, saving the day for the Broncos. Pettit made the hit.
Let's see if we can take a look at this hit here. Schilling's got the ball in his left hand. He makes the cut back to the right, and the ball was popped out of there by Pettit. Chase Swan on top of it, luckily for the Broncos, but Pettit with a nice job of popping that loaf of bread out of there.
So Chase Swan, a hero right now. You don't call his name much, but what a big fumble recovery right there. Broncos basically going no backs, and Chase Swan's the only guy back there. They hand it off. This is Malathon trying to go outside, nothing there. He was cut down by Gian Petrie, who has been all over the field today.
Yeah, I think the Vandals have got that play figured out, Wayne. What do you think?
I think so.
Here again, the motion across the formation, the handoff to Malathon, and then he's supposed to take it outside. Well, like Gian Petrie, he's seen this a couple times. He's seen it. He's got it. It's under control.
Now the Bronco offense has put itself in kind of a little bit of a hole every time they've had a first down play here in this 3rd quarter. They have found themselves 3rd and long of some sort. Right now they're 2nd and long of some sort. They are now 2nd down and 12. Simple handoff. Malathon gets it out to the 33-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 8. Chris Nofiaga made the stop. Nofuinga, there you see him. What a ball player he is.
Will Beck, he's been in a lot of the scrums in the middle of that line of scrimmage today, too. Especially in the start of this second half. He's been a force in the middle.
All right, 3rd down and 8. Another key 3rd down for Boise State. They want to keep possession of this football. Shorten this game if they can. Hendricks. Looking deep. And overthrows a wide open Jay Swilly. And I mean, Jay Swilly had beaten his man by 2 feet, 2 yards, and he just couldn't quite catch up to the football.
Well, in the wind, as I look at the Flyers on the goalpost, starting to pick up a little bit now and kind of coming in the direction of Bart Hendricks' face. So I think Bart may have thought he had to throw that ball a little harder than he needed to. Certainly led Swilly by too much.
All right, here we go again. Jeff Edwards back to kick it away. Dirk Cutter. Cinder going, man, nothing's working right now, but it's because everybody stepped it up a notch. Chris Lacey almost came in there. Once again, Boise State, what a great play by Ross Ferris to get down there and make the stop. So, we got 5:16 to go here in the 3rd, 24-7, Boise State. 24-7 is your score. Boise State leads it right now. 5:16 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter score, Wake Forest 23-7 over number 12, Georgia Tech. Upset of the making there. Nevada. Utah State, 4th quarter, Utah State trying to put a hurting on Nevada down there in Reno today. First down for the Vandals at the 25-yard line. Lacey in motion. Welsh the handoff to Moody. That's Tenor, rather. And Tenor doesn't get anywhere. Matt Hill made the stop.
Matt Hill and Brian Johnson both anchor in the middle of that defensive front for the Broncos right now. Let's go down to Jeff Caves.
Michael Moody, the talented running back, leading ground gainer for the season for the Vandals, has had a turf toe problem, although he's played the last 4 weeks. He re-injured it on the last series. It's questionable whether he comes back. Ditto for Gavin Reed, who may come back if they feel the need. Wayne?
All right, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. So Anthony Tenor now going to get the yeoman's work at tailback. The handoff to Tenor. Big hole. He's got a first down. He's at the 40, and he's knocked down at the 47-yard line. Quentin Michael made the stop.
Tenor gets up with a little bit of a limp also. It's just a student body left. They pull 3 offensive linemen to the left side of the formation. No Boise State player gets up there to force the play. And Tenor, look at the yardage he's got, and look at the green turf in front of him. That's the Hartz and Schilling came over to at least trip him up.
Ball marked just shy of the 49-yard line. 4:16 and counting to go here, third quarter. First down for the Vandals. That's Willie Alderson in motion. And Welsh looking for the screen. And Quinton, this is intercepted by Kareem Williams. He could go the distance. He's just got John Welsh to beat. Forget it. Touchdown, Kareem Williams.
Wayne, they tried to set up the screenplay that time, but Kareem Williams read it perfectly, came over the top of the receiver, picked off the ball, and he's in the end zone. What a great read by Kareem Williams.
Wow, and John Welsh, getting up, and you can see he's limping a little bit. Here it is.
You see the lineman pulling out to the right, and look at Williams right over the top of Pettit, who was in there as the replacement for Tenor, and that's a tough position to put a guy in that hasn't played tailback the whole game. You put him into that screen situation, and Kareem Williams just ran him over.
Nick Kaliakai kick is up and good. 3:58 to go in the third period. The Broncos have got on the board again. It's Boise State 31, Idaho 7. All right, I'll tell you what, this crowd here is quieted down now. What a nice play by Kareem Williams. And here you see the Broncos sideline. We'll take one more.
Watch the play develop. You see the linemen, they'll fake the block, then they pull out to the right. There's Pettit, who gets bulled by Kareem Williams. He just goes up and he wants the ball more, and he's in better position to get it. John Welsh, he just runs out of steam, and you can see that leg bothering him a little bit on that attempt to tackle Kareem Williams.
I don't know about Kareem with that move into the end zone. You got to be careful. A cool day like this. He's stretching it out there, but that was a big-time move by Kareem Williams, and the Broncos are up 31-7 here with 3:58 to go in the third.
You know, these guys from Boise State, obviously, I know they practice on Sundays, but it appears to me they have enough time to watch the NFL. Because isn't that now the vogue in the NFL is to make a swan dive into the end zone?
Yeah, they have enough time to watch some of that. That was a swan dive. And in the NCAA, sometimes they call that against you. Brett Thompson. This is just a high kick that's going to come at the 21-yard line, taken by an up man. And the Broncos have trouble catching up to him. I can't see. Who was that? Was that Dennis Gibbs?
Rossi Martin.
Rossi Martin got it. Okay.
He was kind of the up man. There's a player down for Boise State at the 27-yard line. But Rossi Martin took that short kick in the up back position. Just took off to the right, and no contain for Boise State. They've had trouble containing these kickoff returns really all day.
Well, you know, it really has. Well, Idaho does such a great job on kickoff returns anyway. Both their kickoff guys, but then kicking short like that, the up man just really made a nice run. Shotgun formation, here we go. From the 46-yard line, Jeff Welch throws. It is caught. Willie Alderson made the catch in front of Dempsey Dees at the 49-yard line of Boise State. Gain of about 6.
Is that the same Willie Anderson that played in the Humanitarian Bowl last year? ESPN2 had a little trouble with his name last year, as I recall. But that is Willie Alderson, the Nampa High product. And really a guy they go to a lot in the passing game up here. He makes some big plays. He's a game breaker. I'll tell you, that kid has a lot of speed, too. I remember watching him run up and down the field way too many times.
Yeah, I really wanted to see him play for Boise State. I tell you what, I wanted to see him stay down there in that part of the woods and play, but he's done a great job for the Idaho Vandals. Chris Lacey in motion, Tenor the lone setback. Welsh just looking to throw, looking for Townsley, and he's got it for a first down. Pretty good coverage by Damian Schilling, but Townsley makes the catch. A great throw by Welsh.
Well, good recovery there by Damian Schilling. He was beaten. The good pass route run by Townsley. Straight drop back. See, Bradley Phillips almost got to Welsh. And then Schilling makes the recovery, but a good route run by Townsley. That's the key to that pass play connected.
Again, the shotgun. I guess this is what we're going to see exclusively for now. Welsh again. Plenty of time. Good coverage in the secondary. Welsh thinking about running. Lets it go, and it's knocked up in the air. And great coverage by Ross Ferris. Ross Ferris with great coverage that time on Ethan Jones.
Ross Ferris with a great quote in the paper that was done, an article done by Stephen Dodge in the Idaho Statesman, where he said, you know, the thing about football that teaches you is it teaches you no matter how hard it is, how much you're getting beat up, how tough the circumstance, you always have to get up and make another play. You always have to get up and go again and say, don't ever give up. And Ross Ferris didn't give up on that pass play.
Second down and 10. Alderson again, the man in motion, and again, Welsh throwing in the corner. Complete. And again, it was a nice catch there by Rossi Martin. And that's a first down to the 17 of the Broncos.
Well, virtually all of the passing yardage that the Vandals have gotten has been to their offensive left, the Broncos' defensive right, which is where Schilling and Damon Bowie have been residing at cornerback. I don't think there's any bones about it, but those are the guys that are going to get picked on. And you saw Damon Schilling pull the 360 routine. That doesn't work very well at cornerback.
Well, remember, Damon's playing hurt. He's got a problem with that knee. They wanted to get Bowie out there, but they took too good advantage of it. Here's Welsh on the quarterback draw. He gets down to the 9-yard line. Nice stop.
And a gutsy play, too, by a guy that's had the broken leg earlier in the year. Came back really before most people thought he would be back. But Welsh has got a lot of guts and a lot of courage, not only to come back and play, but to be called on to run the quarterback draw. That's about the third or fourth time he's done it today.
Mazuski's the guy that made the stop. Second down and 3 for the Vandals. Down to the Bronco 9-yard line, and to Welsh. Back to pass. And he's going to think about running it again. Nice fake, and he's going to get in for the touchdown. Or did he go down at the 1?
They're going to spot it at about the 1-foot line.
Well, what a nice fake. He faked the pass out on the flat, and the defenders froze for just a moment. He was able to get down to the 1. Crowd not happy. They thought he had a tee as well.
Again, this is the design quarterback draw, but Welsh.
Actually, it's a great spot by the officials. Look at Quentin Michael come up and stop him.
Watch where the ball hits. Right there. Good call.
Yep, great call. First and goal for the Idaho Vandals. Welsh, touchdown. So that makes it 31-13 with 2 minutes to go in the third.
Well, that's the leadership ability this kid has, Wayne. You know, you come up with some big plays, you throw some good passes, you make a few key runs, and you tell the rest of your mates, listen, guys, follow me. Get on my back, and I'll carry you around. Let's do it.
So Ben Davis will come on to try the point after. And he's a pretty good kicker and gets the job done. 31-14 is our score. 2 minutes to go here in the third. We'll keep it here. Boise State with the lead over the Idaho Vandals. The winner of this game is your Big West champion. The winner of this game will represent the conference at the Humanitarian Bowl on December 30th in Boise. Here's Jeff Gaves.
You know, an interesting story angle all week on this was the Vandals against the world. I mean, University of Idaho's football team is a very prideful group, and they will put themselves together and put their backs against the wall and then come out fighting. Bryson Gardner said during this week in the papers here that he has no friends on the Boise State team. Chris Tormey was quoted as saying that last year's team, according to some people, was a fluke, and they need to prove that they can do it again. John L. Smith said, hey, the Vandals live in a dump, and they're not going to put up with this stuff, and they look up at teams like Boise State that have the paradise of Boise and Broncos Stadium. That's coming from John L. Now they had their backs to the wall. 31-14. It's in the fourth quarter. They love John Welsh for the fourth quarter. We'll see what happens.
All right, here we go. Getting ready for the kickoff now. Ben Davis will kick it off. And he puts a foot into it. This one's going to be out of the stadium. Here's the Vandals scoring drive for you. 7 plays, 55 yards. Didn't take a whole lot of time. 148, and of course it was pretty much set up by a short kickoff and a nice return. Broncos trying that short kickoff into the wind, and the wind has kicked up again, so much about stuff, huh?
That's good. Twice in one broadcast.
But the sun going down. Well, I get paid every time I say that.
I hope you're not getting paid much.
Get paid extra. Yeah, right. But the wind has kicked up again. The Broncos will have the win in the fourth quarter, but right now they've got another minute 55 that they've got to go into it. Panucci in motion. This is Davey Malathon. Davey gets the corner shut down nicely. Bryson Gardner comes up to make the stop. But for the first time in a while, the Broncos on first down actually get some positive yardage.
Concerted effort there by Davey Malathon not to even get near the sidelines. I mean, I'm sure they've been told we need to shorten this game as much as possible. And he kept it inbounds inside the numbers. Picked up positive yardage, but still kept the clock in.
Remember, the Bronco offense has only scored 3 points since the end of the first quarter. Hendricks looking for Panucci. Panucci's out there, bumped into, incomplete. Incidental contact. Pretty good coverage there by Cleavon Bradshaw.
Well, if the official's saying the ball was thrown over his head, that's wrong, because that wasn't the case. But it was good coverage, and there wasn't any interference.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Again, the Broncos trying to stretch this defense to the right side, so they see something to the Vandals' left of their formation that I don't see, because I see Cleavon Bradshaw out there, and he's been a pretty good cover guy today.
Sure has. Here comes the blitz. Nice catch by Jay Swilly. First down at the 33-yard line.
Swilly's like the first down maker, isn't he? I mean, every time the guy touches the ball, it seems like he's in a position to make the first down. Huge play there by the Bronco offense. Swilly, just a crossing route, very simple route, comes all the way across the formation, but does it deep enough and catches the ball in great position where he had it.
Bryson Gardner knocks him out of bounds. First down, Boise State. 63 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Up the middle, picks his way for 3.
I saw Jay Swilly come off the sidelines too, and he's got a trainer working on him right now. It's like he's got a cramp possibly in his calf or a tight Achilles. He's doing some stretching exercises over there. So the first down maker having a little leg trouble right now.
Now this cold weather, I'll tell you what, it plays havoc on the Broncos. Actually, that was a better game than I thought. It was a pickup of 4. It'll be second down and 6. With about 8 in the box. The handoff. That's Brock Forsey, and he gets out to the 41-yard line. Rick Petrie makes a stop. And Jordan Kramer in there as well. And I'll tell you that safety Kramer had to come up there and make the stop. They had about 7 or 8 in the box. That's good third quarter. And so we'll play the final 15 minutes of this football game here at Martin Stadium in Pullman. Boise State 31, Idaho 14. Welcome back to Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. Boise State 31, Idaho 14. Wayne Zubak, Larry Podolsky with you. The Broncos with a 3rd down and 2. Ball at the 41-yard line. Bart Hendricks, the speed option's not going to get it. He's awful close, but I don't think he quite got there. Vandals, Will Beck making a nice play.
To be at the 42-yard line.
No, he definitely did not get it. It'll be 4th out foot. So the punting team going to come on for Boise State.
There you see the total offense. BSU still leads it, but Idaho has made up a lot of ground. 327 to 259. But the Broncos have the big stat up on the scoreboard, 31 to 14 at this point. Jeff Edwards getting ready to kick it away. Vern Bernard back, and that ball is going to go into the end zone, be brought out to the 20. Now the Boise State Broncos 14-12 away from a berth in the Humanitarian Bowl, a Big West Championship, and certainly what would be a big day in Boise on December 30th, because later that evening after the Humanitarian Bowl, Boise State basketball team hosts, which is now the #1 team in the country, the Bearcats of Cincinnati.
And looking at Cincinnati's schedule, they may still be #1 by December 30th. A few, how should we say, cupcake games on that schedule for Cincinnati?
Gotta have some cupcakes. You're #1, everybody else almost is a cupcake, except for the top 10 or so. But still, we got 14-12 to go. Anything can happen. This is a potent Idaho offense. John Welch still calling the signals. He throws out on the flat to Townsley. Townsley gets about 8. He's pushed out of bounds by Damian Schilling.
Damian Schilling with the coverage that time. Again, working the left side of the offensive formation, the quick 5-yard out route.
And
has to come back for the ball, about a 3-yard gain there.
I said 8, I meant 3. John Welsh, you see the numbers on him, 18 to 32. Intercepted 3 times, though. That's the big stat right there. 2nd down and 7. Welsh, the handoff to Tenner. Tenner nowhere to run because he's got Andy Bennett on his back.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to run down the field when you've got a guy 260 pounds with his arms around your neck. Loss of about the 3 or 4 they gained before. So bring up a 3rd and 10 situation. Good contain also on the outside by Ross Ferris. He held his position, held the end of the line of scrimmage, and allowed Bennett to track him down from behind.
3rd down, the Vandals do not want to go 3 and out here. They've got to make something happen. They've got to make it happen in a hurry. Broncos with the blitz. Here comes Ferris. And Ferris has got him at the 15-yard line. A sack for Ross Ferris coming from the right side.
Well, this is certainly a game when your seniors, I mean, it's their last regular season game of the year. It's time for them to throw it all to the wind. And here comes Ross Ferris from that outside linebacker position. He just keeps chugging and keeps tracking John Welsh down.
Remember, Welsh has a bad leg, and he got up limping from this. He had a broken leg earlier in the year, came back from that. Nobody could believe that. No wonder it's sore. Damian Schilling at the 48-yard line.
Putting on the delay fake there, Schilling, when he catches the punt, just kind of sat there. And the Vandals kind of stopped, too, so he picked up about 5 extra yards.
All right, we got timeout on the field. We've got 12:42 to go in this ball game, and as you can see, we got Boise State leading it 31-14. All right, we are back 31-14 as our score, 12:42 to go. Here you see Spiva, and McKeish Brooks comes in from the left side of your screen, and Vandal fans were calling for some kind of interference, but nice angle by McKeish Brooks, and Spiva just kind of stepped over him. Broncos have great field position at the 43-yard line of Idaho. And I'll tell you what Boise State would like to do, get about 5 first downs between here and there. Just running on the ground. Brock Forsey, or a touchdown on one play, whatever works. Brock Forsey to the 15-yard line.
Brock Forsey with some great individual effort. The left side of the line of scrimmage by Boise State gives him the first hole. and he breaks it off the corner. They seal off that left side. You see the great down block there. I believe it was Derek Ollie that crushed the left side of that defensive front. And then great individual effort here by Brock Forsey. Centennial Patriot product out of Boise. Does it again.
Well, I tell you, what a run there by Brock Forsey. All Brock was trying to do is run some clock, and Brock breaks it. Maybe not found in motion. Boise State can't get out of its own way is the problem.
Keith Dilworth, I believe, made that tackle.
That was pretty tough. Poor Bart. He turned around to spin, did everything he should.
Except he had big old Keith in the way now. You know, when a guy's 3'16", 6'5", get in your way, you're probably not going to run through him.
No, and you have no idea how strong these guys. These guys aren't only just big, 315 pounds, but I mean, they're pumping iron all the time. They are rock solid. You ain't going to move. Keith gets out of the way, though. Could have been a touchdown. I mean, that was a pretty good call. 2nd down and 10. Hendricks back in the end zone and just kind of threw it away. Pretty good coverage all the way around by the Idaho Vandals.
Well, the pass, I believe, was intended for Stahelski, and they were going to clear out the zone with Davidson, and then they're going to bring Stahelski down the sidelines and just try to throw the ball to the pylon at the corner of the end zone, and Stahelski has to run to get it. The timing just a little bit off. Good jam at the line of scrimmage by the Vandals to keep Stahelski off the timing line.
So now the Broncos got a problem again. Got a 3rd down and 10. Of course, they like their problems. They're up 31-14. They're just inside the 15-yard line. So they'll take this 3rd down and 10 problem. Hendricks. Here comes the blitz. They throw it out. This is Gavin Reed back in the football game, and Gavin Reed down, touchdown.
Gavin Reed, the designated touchdown man today. What's he been in? 2 plays, 2 touchdowns.
Unbelievable for Gavin Reed. I guarantee you he'll end up being our Subway sub of the game, and Gavin's hurt. That he came in just long enough to test that hamstring. Well, and obviously it's not holding up too well.
The good news for Gavin Reed is he's probably going to have a good month to heal up before the Humanitarian Bowl. And look, he's kind of limping right now. You can see he's not 100%, but again, behind Dilworth, the big guy clears out the path and gets him into the end zone.
Hamstring's one of those insidious injuries where you say, oh, it feels okay, it feels okay. Let me play. And then you take that one first run, and the next thing you know, you're being helped off the field again. But the hamstring can heal in a couple of 3 weeks. So here comes Nick Laragan to try to make it 38-14, and he does. It has been all Boise State, a 21-point first quarter, and the Broncos have rolled here so far. 11:25 to go, 38-14 BSU. All right, we are back. That's the story. Wayne DeZubak, Larry Pulowski with you. 38-14 Boise State, 11:25 to go in the football game. And Brett Thompson getting ready to kick it off. Chris Lacey back at the goal line. Lacey will take it at the 3. Slips a little bit. That turf is tough. But look at this. He's got it out. Chris Lacey. Nice move outside of the 30. He's still going to the 35, 40, 42-yard line for Chris Lacey. A late flag goes down at the 40.
Well, that return has worked almost every time they run it. Chris Lacey does a great job setting that thing up, and his blockers do an excellent job. But we're going to get a block in the back at the end of the play that's going to negate a great return for the Vandals.
There you see Gavin Reed. Boy, I tell you what, he
back above the waist on the return, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Really looks dejected down there, but he's got 2 touchdowns and pretty much 2 touches today. But Gavin obviously saying, I'd rather be healthy.
The penalty placing the ball at the 30-yard line. First down and 10, Idaho.
What do they have iced up down there? Do they have his ankle iced up?
I think they've got his hamstring sitting on a bag of ice.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, there it is. Yeah, okay.
They're asking you shall receive. There it is, right there.
Well, get frozen ham. No question. But he'll be all right. Gavin looks a little dejected. He shouldn't be, though. The pass to Townsley. One-on-one coverage. Look at the move by Townsley. He held the ball down and got another 6-7 yards out of it to midfield.
Well, I tell you what, I feel sorry for these cornerbacks for Boise State on this side of the field. They have been turned around. Everything could possibly happen to these guys in coverage has happened. That time, Bowie just got totally lost in space.
Well,
and then he got lost in space again by a ball fake by Townsley. Actually, Townsley trying to gain
Possession
of the
yeah.
ball.
It's from up here, it looked like he just faked the ball. When I saw it again on the replay, he never had possession, and that's why. But I thought he just took the ball and tried to fake it. Anyway, 1st and 10 at midfield for John Welsh and company. Here comes the backside blitz. Look out. And Welsh threw it in the ground again. And I'll tell you what. Let's see what they're going to call it on. I think they're going to call intentional grounding, or are they going to call a late hit? Yeah, they're going to call intentional grounding.
Well, and Townsley was out to the left, but they're saying that he wasn't throwing the ball to him.
Well, so you watch when Welsh turns around.
On the offense. Washes down at the spot of the flag. Remains first down.
That was a good call because Shenard Hartz was already committed. He was there, and as soon as Welsh saw him, he threw it and got hit within a split second. And Chris Tormey's beside himself right now. This is not the kind of game he expected. The last 2 games had gone into overtime, not this one. Jeff Caves, what you got?
Well, we've been listening to the chants of these fans. Look at them up here. I mean, I can only imagine what the Boise Center on the Grove looks like with almost 600 Broncos ready to absolutely take over the city of Boise that I think they feel like they own tonight. It's been a tremendous crowd for the Broncos.
Mike Malloy with the tip knocks it down, and Andy Bennett, the first one there to say, good job.
That's the second time Malloy's been able to get into the passing lane, and another screen pass was on its way there, but we saw Kareem Williams break one up and bring it back for a touchdown. Malloy bats that one down.
Well, you're right. There's a big party going on down there at the center on the Grove. A lot of Bronco fans. There's a man right there who has turned his team around, turned his program around, got this team to within 10.55 of a 9-3 season. Welsh has the time, throws, incomplete. Well, I tell you what, that was a dangerous pass because it was just over the outstretched hands of Kareem Williams and a nice play at corner by Damian Bowie.
Well, there were a lot of white shirts in the vicinity, and he won half that ball in there, but Kareem Williams getting out into the passing lane is what makes that thing go awry, but good coverage there by the Broncos.
4th down and long. You think the Broncos will have a block on here? Well, they got 10 guys
they're all up
on the
there,
line of scrimmage.
But I'm still not sure they're going to try to block this.
Nope, they did. Damian Schilling waiting for it. Takes it at the 15-yard line. Damian gets out to the 22. Lucky Ahi is the man who made the stop. Damian Schilling, you can see, he looks like he's got a little bit of an injury there. He's the way he's holding that left arm. Damian's playing hurt, got the kneecap the whole bit. Sinclair scoreboard, Virginia Tech all over Temple. And Michigan beats Ohio State 24-17 today. It's rivalry day. East Carolina over North Carolina State 23-6 your final. Minnesota beating Iowa 25-21. And right here it's 38-14 Boise State. Broncos with a first down. Davey Malathain gets it to the 25-yard line. Broncos just trying to let this clock run.
Well, those are 2 hard yards for Davey Malathain, too. Ilfoenga in there. Knowles in there. Created a big pile, but boy, Malathain went down in a hurry. And you don't see that happen very often when he goes into the line of scrimmage.
Well, 2 good football teams right here. There's a guy, Ryan Knowles, who's played a great game here today. He's been all over the place. But I'll tell you what, Quinton Michael, we're talking about player of the game. He made my vote for player of the game. We'll talk about that later. 2 big interceptions when the Vandals had a chance to come back in this thing. Brock Forsey slips the tackle, gets out to the 29-yard line. Brought down by G.M. Petrie. Well, that guy, he's all over the field, number 26 there.
Yeah, he's played a tough game today. I tell you, I think the secondary for this Idaho Vandal defense has played very well today, but they've been put in some difficult situations by either returns, turnovers, and then, of course, the Boise State defense has scored 7 of their own. So.
Well, and this Bronco offense, even though they've been stymied a little bit here in the second half, they were scoring at 40 points a game in Big West action. They really kind of put it together. They were destroying teams. Beat Arkansas State 63-10, Nevada 52-17. I think Vandal fans now seen a little bit of the reason why. The pass complete, close to a first down. You're going to say he stayed in bounds, and he's about a yard short. The Broncos will have to kick it away, and guess who? Rick G.M. Petrie again.
G.M. Petrie's playing a great game, and that was definitely short Not a real good route that time, but I believe Swilly made the reception. Didn't quite get the yardage that time. For Boise State has been solid ever since the second half of the Hawaii game, really, Wayne. If you think back, that is really the only half of football where they played poorly.
Pass intercepted by Damon Bowie, and he's been brought down from behind, but the Broncos have come up with the interception, and that time they picked on Damon Bowie, and he said, gotcha.
He's had enough of it, I guess, huh, Wayne? Damon Bowie, the senior cornerback out of Houston, Texas. You don't see many Texans on the roster of Boise State teams, but Damon Bowie, in his senior year, in his final regular season game, gets a chance to make a pick. But tell you what, Wayne, he's going to get one more chance to play football on December 30th.
Yeah, he really will. Broncos now looking like they're going to go to the Humanitarian Bowl and win this Big West title. 7:54 to go in a ball game. Broncos trying to run out the clock. Davey Malathon takes a hit, keeps on ticking.
He is so strong. I mean, the legs on this guy are just tremendous. But let us not forget either, brand new to us, and we'll get used to saying this, but the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl.
Yeah, you bet. Well, we talked to those people earlier in this ball game talking about that. They've stepped up and become the first sponsor of the Humanitarian Bowl. Humanitarian Bowl, of course, will go with the Western Athletic Conference after next year. Second down and 3. Oh, wait a minute. That was a 3-yard gain, so second down and 7. Malathon takes on Bryson Gardner. Bryson wrestles him to the turf. But all the Broncos want to do is stay in bounds, maybe get a couple of more first downs and keep the clock going.
Well, the first down battle right now is really pretty even. 17 for the Broncos and 16 for the Vandals. I think one of the big stats I see, here at Washington State's stadium here, Martin Stadium, they have boards that show offensive production and defensive production. Mark Johnson, the defensive line coach for Boise State, was telling me before the game his defensive linemen were really jacked because they were going to get to see themselves in lights. And there they are, 5 sacks for the Bronco defense, and that's something they don't see very often is defensive stats posted up on a scoreboard.
And that brings them to 44 sacks on the year, Poe. That is the best by far in the Big West Conference. The pass for Mike Davison. He's got it! Davison down to the 3.
Davison wanted to get into the end zone, Wade. He was trying hard. A little fade route there by the Broncos. Bart just throws it up. Davidson runs under it. It is a perfect pass by Bart Hendricks. 3-step drop. He throws it to a spot. Now it's up to Mike Davidson to run under it. Really great coverage there by Dennis Gibbs, but a perfect throw. And Davidson now, he wants to get into the end zone bad, but he didn't quite make it.
Wasn't going to be denied. And the 25,000 plus fans that were here, there's probably about 3,000 or 4,000 left. Everybody is headed out of here, except the Bronco fans. They're all still here, and you wonder why? Davey Malathon, touchdown. Second effort by Davey Malathon.
The Broncos put up the 40 spot on this Idaho Vandal team that beat them last year on the last play of the game in overtime with a 2-point conversion. Shea Swan, lead blocker here. Malathon goes into the line of scrimmage, and again, strong enough that he can bounce off those piles. He gets himself 6 points.
The first 11 games of this series, Boise State dominated 8-2-1. The last 17 games, it was Idaho 15-2, but 6 of those 15 wins were by 7 points or less, but it was a streak. The streak has become fabled, but it is gone now. Boise State 45-14. Well, we are back here, and that tells the story. 45-14, Boise State leads it with 5:54 to go in the contest. And Brett Thompson will get ready to kick it off to Chris Lacey. Maybe that's one way to keep Lacey from running it back. Look at this, though. There's a nice play, but, well, look at this. I'll tell you what, Idaho Vandals, you give them credit. They can really get the job done on those kickoff guys. They've got, seems like every time they got somebody else. That's Rossi Martin, who just kind of picked up the short hop, looked like he was down, and then just kind of scooted away and made a nice little return.
Well, that's the second one he's picked up as the short man. It looks like he should be down at least twice there, but he breaks loose to the left side of the formation and brings it back in. Hey, these return guys are all over the place.
They really are. What a great job they're doing. Well, John Welch comes in. He's still in there. He's gone all the way. Vandals with a 1st and 10. Welch, lots of room to run. Lets it fly. Better part of battle there. Probably could have run the football. He probably had first down if he just kept it going. But John Welch wants to make something big happen here. And what a frustrating year, but what a story. A broken leg, coming back in that Nevada game when the Vandals were kind of stymied. They still had the lead, but Nevada was coming back, and Wolfpack had all the momentum, and he came in there and it just parted the waters, if you would, and led the Vandals to a big victory down there in Reno.
And John's only a sophomore. We'll see a couple more years of John Welch, quarterback in this Idaho Vandal club.
Welch, good pressure.
Bennett. Andy Bennett with the sack, number 6.
Number 45 on the year. Boise State really aggressive on defense, and right now, of course, they're just pinning their ears back, and they're coming with this 45-14 lead. And it's 3rd down and long. 3rd and 15 for Idaho. The ball at the 35-yard line.
This is a glorious time to be on defense, and it is a miserable time to be the offense.
Michael good for the steal. Chris Lacey makes the catch, and that's going to be good for a 1st down. So Chris Lacey, now you can see some tempers flaring there, and everybody's just got to keep it together. You hate to see anything kind of unravel here. I'm sure, the Broncos are hyped up. The Vandals are probably frustrated because of this situation here today. But that was a great pass to Chris Lacey. And the Vandals have a 1st down at the 41-yard line. Well, a lot of movement there.
Well,
Let's see what they call.
I can see why Reidman jumped. The center kind of flinched the ball there a little bit. I don't think he was trying to draw.
Prior to the snap infraction, offense, 5 yards, remains 1st down.
Yeah, the center kind of almost picked up the ball or moved the ball enough to where the line judge obviously saw that because Reidman came off sides, but Idaho gets the penalty.
Check 1st down and 15. MCDs, they haven't thrown that way very often. That was intended for Willie Alderson, and Willie paid the price. MCDs was right there.
And that's the reason they haven't gone after Dempsey Dees very much today, is because he's the guy that, 6 interceptions on the year, great timing for a cornerback, great catch-up speed, never seems to get beat deep. Once in a while they'll catch him in a red zone offense where he may get beat for a touchdown, but in the open field, not very often.
Of course, Dennis Farrell, the commissioner of the Big West Conference, on hand to make that offer to the humanitarian ball. Here come the Broncos again. Welch running for his life, lets it go. Nice catch by Willie Alderson, short of the 1st down. And a good job by John Welch. Why am I calling him Jeff? John Welch, because he had to really do a good job of just kind of eluding all the rushers coming after him.
Bringing up an old Idaho Statesman beat writer from way back.
Yeah. No comparison between the two.
I know Welch was pretty wicked on the basketball court, but he wasn't much on the football field.
3rd down and about foot for the Idaho Vandals. Anthony Tenter, the lone running back. And he gets the football, and he gets the 1st down. Not by much, though. He got it.
Broncos pushing back, but they're going to mark it at the 30 by a yard at least for a 1st down.
John Reidman in on a play. There's another guy, John, coming back. You talk about broken bones and things like that. Talk about John Welch all the time, but Reidman, he had a broken bone, and he hung in there, and now he's back playing.
Reidman also a senior.
There's Welch again. Quarterback draw, design play. Doesn't get a whole lot, gets a couple of yards. The clock continues to run. We're coming up on the 4-minute mark. Again, Ryman makes the stop. You talk about all the things that this Boise State football team has been through, the Paul Reyna situation, the Pokey Allen situation, the 1 year of Houston Nutt coming and going.
Not to mention Tom Mason in the middle of that.
Yeah, Tom Mason in the middle of that. I mean, really, the chance for these 23 seniors who have been through it all as Welsh. Looking, throwing, incomplete. Townsley had it in his hands and dropped it. Stops the clock with 3:40. But through all of that, there are 23 seniors out there who experienced every down moment. And if you look at that article in the paper that came out yesterday, I think it was on Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, that was yesterday. That they're talking about what was the worst moment of Boise State. Every one of them. Pokey Allen's death, Paul Reyna's death. All these different things. You're talking about death and destruction football players really shouldn't have to talk about. And yet, it'd be nice for these 23 seniors to have an opportunity to go out with a bowl game. Trips to the near side. Welsh, look out!
Oh. Johnson. Wow. John Welsh has got 2 more years here at Idaho. Maybe
if he gets through this game.
Maybe they should just take him out and put somebody else in. I mean, come on. You're going to get that killed.
That's the 7th sack of John Welsh today, and that one really hurt. He never saw it coming. Brian Johnson, preseason Butkus Award nominee, and he hasn't done anything to hurt that.
Well, I see Chris Tormey a little upset on the sidelines. I'm not sure what he's upset about. Maybe he should think back to a couple of years ago when Pokey Allen was coaching this team, and that 63 points he put up on the board. Maybe he just ought to remember that.
Chris Lacey, you can't bounce it, you can't dribble it. Quentin Michael on the coverage coming up strong. There's a redshirt freshman for you. And that's going to turn the ball over. That was a 4th down play, so the Boise State Broncos will get the ball back with 3:01 to go. And out of 25,000 here, there are hardly any Idaho fans left. The band's got to stay, so they're here. But I'll tell you what, the Bronco fans have stayed in mass, the ones that have made the trip up here. And I'm sure they're celebrating on the Grove right now at Boise. Big party down there. Quentin Michael, what a great job he's done. What an impact player he's been. Not a lot there, but then Brock Forsey didn't expect to get a lot. He knows he's just running the clock now.
Number 36, Brock Forsey.
Matt Jason came up with a stop.
Oh, and we've got some awards to give out here. We've been talking about the Subway Sub of the Game, Player of the Game. Now Bart Hendricks is going to come out of the game.
So B.J. Rohde in at quarterback for Boise State as Bart Hendricks is out of there. Broncos giving a few people a chance to play that haven't had that opportunity heretofore. On a 2nd down and 8. Rohde. That's Shea Swan, or is it my eyes deceiving me?
No, that's
actually handed off to the fullback.
That's Shea Swan, number 39, that carries the football. That is your fullback. Now, you don't see that very often. But he is the fullback. Bart Hendricks' numbers on the day. The exception of 2 picks in the 3rd quarter. Great day by Bart Hendricks.
Yeah, really, he came out smoking and got the job done early. 21-0 after a quarter of play. 24-0 early into the 2nd quarter, and this game has been pretty much a done deal since then. Minute 49 to go, and after this play, maybe we need to talk about some of our guys. Look at this. Shea Swan to the 40-yard line. 1st down. Shea Swan trying to seal the deal.
Number 23, Lucky Donkey, the Sophomore.
A minute 33 to go. The clock stops on the 1st down. They'll get it going again.
Well, and Dirk Cutter just got Gatorated on the sidelines. Wonder how happy that made him, I'm sure.
What a day to get Gatorated, huh?
Here's a close-up. He saw it coming. He escaped part of it, but not all of it.
Handoff. Not a lot of room there, and out of bounds.
And as the Vandals celebrated last year in Bronco Stadium, I think you may see a little celebration by the Broncos when this 107 ticks off the clock here at Martin Stadium, the adopted home for the Idaho Vandals.
Of course, our Subway Player of the Game. Got to be Gavin Reed, huh? Got a minute 7 to go in this ball game. B.J. Rohde, 2nd down and about 14. Hands it off. Broncos running the clock down, letting it go. Down to 60 seconds in this contest.
Pat Strophus with the carry.
Yeah, the Boise State Broncos, I'll tell you what, they've come a long way since that game we did in Hawaii, Bo.
Well, they really have. That was a devastating loss, but I tell you what it did. It made them look at themselves, refocus, re-energize themselves, and make a commitment to winning some football games, and they certainly have done that. This has been a tremendous last two-thirds of the season.
Really, they came back for 3 games in a homestand, beat a couple of Mountain West teams, and then beat the Eastern Washington team. Really got on the roll. Big win at Utah State.
Senior Brian Harsin get to take a snap here. Good call his own number.
Harsin all the way down to the 30-yard line. That's going to be it. So the Boise State Broncos have won the Big West Championship. They finished the year 9-3. The final score, 45-14, Boise State. Chris Tormey coming over to congratulate Dirk Cutter. The Boise State Broncos have come into the Palouse and rocked it with a 45-14 win. We've got much more coming up. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. State, the Big West champions, and they will represent the Big West in the Humanitarian Bowl December 30th in Boise, Idaho, with a 45-14 win here today. There you see it. Big West champs, Dirk Cutter, a happy camper, and well, he should be, Larry.
Well, absolutely, well, he should be. And there's an old saying that to the victor goes the spoils, and right now the Broncos are spoiling this crowd that traveled up from Boise to see this game. They're having a great time on the field. A little celebration going on right now.
Let's talk about the player of the game. We have chosen Quentin Michael. Why? Because he came up with 2 key interceptions at a time. Really, when Idaho could have come back and won this thing or gotten back into it.
Well, Quentin Michael's definitely a deserved recipient of the Dan Wiebold Ford Player of the Game. 2 picks, timely, 5 tackles. He was all over the field with some big hits. Quentin Michael is your Dan Wiebold Ford Player of the Game.
And, of course, your Subway sub of the game has to be who else? Gavin Reed.
Designated touchdown man Gavin Reed. He comes in for a couple of plays and scores a couple of touchdowns, one with only 1 hamstring. So that's the least we can do is to give him our Subway sub of the game.
And then, of course, the last thing we got to do here today is your Dent Pro hit of the game. And there was a lot of good hitting in this football contest here today on both sides as Boise State wins it by a score of 45-14. And here's our Dent Pro hit of the game coming up right here. We're seeing it for the first time. This is a surprise to us here, too.
And that's Brian Johnson coming off the corner and hitting Welsh there at the end of the game. Brian Johnson had many great hits today. So we'll give him the Dent Pro hit of the game. Well-deserved for his not only performance today, but his performance all year long. Brian Johnson's been a great one. I can see why he was nominated for the Butkus Award.
All righty, there you have it. For Larry Pulaski, I'm Wayne Zubat. For Jeff Caves, who covered the sidelines for us today, thanks for joining us here on the Bronco Television Network. Again, you see the final stats, but the biggest stat of all, Boise State wins over the Idaho Vandals today, 45-14. So long from Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington.